You're watching the Columbus Sports Network.
Yes, the locals hope to feast tonight. They have spotted Lion, as in Gahanna, Lincoln. As tonight, the Lions take on the host Patriots of Olentangy Liberty in the high school football game of the week. Hi, everybody, and welcome to CSN. I'm Randy Reinhardt. Jeff Logan on assignment tonight for The Ohio State University. We are proud to be joined by the head football coach at Ohio Dominican, the one, the only Dale Carlson. And, Coach, welcome to CSN.
Thanks, Randy. It's great to be here. I think we've got a great football game tonight.
Let's talk about this matchup, shall we? Gahanna Lincoln 1-1 on the season. Here's a team that is solid. Last week they had a tough loss in overtime by a count of 24-21. And in that game, Arlington got a field goal in overtime. The Golden Bears got the victory by 3. And you can also see in week 1, the Lions with a walkover getting by Mifflin by some 58 points. And they have made the postseason in 4 of the last 6 campaigns. Mike Lanza is the coach in year number 13. And one of the reasons this guy is smiling so far this season is the play of his special running back and defensive back. He goes by the name of Darius Reeves.
Well, Darius is off to a great start this year. He's the type of runner that can take the ball for a home run anytime he touches it. Plus on defense, he's being recruited by the MAC as a defensive back. So I think two-way player tonight. He's going to have a tremendous opportunity to make a lot of plays.
On the other side, the home team of the Patriots, Olentangy Liberty, unblemished in 2 contests so far in the campaign. You take a look at their successes so far. They are unblemished, not even scored upon in the first 2 contests. You can see 56-0 last week against Ironton. Folks, that doesn't happen very often at all. This team is loaded offensively, and one of the tools, one of the weapons they have is a returning starter quarterback coach. He goes by the name of Ryan Seipert.
Well, you know, Ryan's off to a great start this year, Randy, and for him to lead a team at Ironton and win 56-0, that's pretty good. It'll be interesting to see if Coach Hale decides to challenge Reeves and the Gahanna Lincoln secondary and let Ryan throw the football tonight.
Steve Hale in year number 5 running this brand new program at Olentangy Liberty. It's the OCC Ohio taking on the OCC Capital, and it's the high school football game of the week in one place right here on CSN. We are local sports now. CSN's high school football game of the week is brought to you by the U.S. Army, by 7-Up, by Central Ohio Technical College, and by OSU Newark. Welcome back to Olentangy Liberty High School for the showdown with Gahanna Lincoln. A gorgeous night for now for football, but there is the threat of rain in the forecast. Let's find out what's going on down on the field level. Let's go down now to Gary Berry. Gary?
Thanks, Randy. Both teams come in a little banged up. For Olentangy Liberty, number 62 defensive lineman Logan Talehi, whose father played for BYU. He'll see time today, but he's a little banged up with a nagging foot injury. For Gahanna, number 78 offensive lineman Tony Cherry will not see time today because of a strained MCL. But good news for Gahanna, Ryan Ballinger will play today, number 7, their kicker. Back to you, Randy.
Thank you very much, Gary. And Ballinger, interesting story. We talk about football being a contact sport. While running in track, Dale, he suffered a hairline fracture in his back, and that's why he was on the shelf for a little bit, but he will play. He can also play in the secondary and also one of their kickers. So that's a large force to have him back in the lineup for Gahanna Lincoln as we get ready for this contest. A great crowd. Keys to victory, Dale, as you look at the weather conditions, 86 degrees right now, humidity at 42%. What are some of the things you're watching for in this contest here tonight?
I think one of the biggest things is going to be right at the line of scrimmage. Gahanna Lincoln is big in their offensive and defensive line, and Olentangy really is on the small side, but they're extremely quick. So I think that line of scrimmage is going to go a long ways to determining who's going to come out on top tonight.
You know, Darius Reeves, we talked about him in the open, what he can do, the tailback and defensive back, and you look at the staff along the far side. Coach Lanza there, wearing the headsets, and there's Coach Hale along the near side, the 2 head coaches, and here are 2 guys that are friends that get along pretty well. I've got to ask you, as a head coach yourself, do you get along with most of the coaches, or are there a couple of coaches that you would rather not even see?
You know, really, we're pretty lucky in the league that we play in. We all get along pretty well, and it's tough sometimes to go out and play against your friends, but that's what you have to do.
Lions won the toss and deferred, so the Patriots will receive on your left to start this contest. Week number 3 of the high school football season underway here on CSN. Ballinger to boot it, and the kick return will start from the 13 up across the 15 to the 20. And Eggleston trying to work his way outside to the 30 up to the 34-yard line before he's plowed under there. And that's where the offense for the Patriots will get started. And they have started since week 1, and they have never backed down. A team that is 2-0 on the campaign. They have not yielded a point defensively. They got by Westerville North 28-0 and Ironton by a count of 56-0. They forced 6 turnovers in that contest last week. Their quarterback and leader is Ryan Seipert, 5'9", 160, and a senior, passing for over 200 yards so far in the first 2 games, but great speed and a guy that can run as well too.
Well, they are in the little pistol formation.
They're going to keep it on the ground and hand it off to the upback. And on the carry that time is Tyler Eaton, the fullback, who had 2 carries for just 3 yards, known mostly for his blocking on offense, but a great linebacker on defense as well for the Patriots. Starting lineups are brought to you by Record.com. Go online and check out their $1,000 lower guarantee. Eaton, Eggleston, Creedy, Van Scoy, and Whitner. The hands people up front, the big guys in the offensive line for Olentangy Liberty look like this. It is Fleming, along with Era, Coffey, Shirey, and Hilty. They don't use a tight end. They don't have a tight end on their roster. On a second down play now from the 36-yard line, again from that pistol set. And Seipert will call his own number and get maybe a yard on the play up to about the 37. Good read defensively by number 4, Aaron Brightfiller, coming up for the secondary of Gahanna Lincoln. Defensively, Tom Earl, the D coordinator the last 2 seasons for the Lions. And it looks like this up front with Pruse, McCaskey, Hatcher, Wills, and Smith will all see time. They'll share those 4 spots, those 5 guys. Also, some good linebackers, too. They've got 2 guys with experience in Donaldson and White. Guthrie also back there as well, too. In the secondary, Williams, McGinniger, Brightfeller, and Reeves to start the contest. But those guys that start on offense will see some rest on defense. Seipert to throw on 3rd down, or so he thinks, and he is going to be whipped down. Good pressure defensively, and Dale looked like one of the first guys in there with the pressure was big number 56. That's Taylor Pruse.
That was a tremendous pass rush move that he put on with Ryan trying to sprint out to the outside. Again, it's that offensive-defensive line battle. Who's going to win it? And right now, this first series, it goes to Gahanna.
You see Pruse, a JV player last year who likes lifting, English, and track and field. So it's 4th down. They'll move back and go into the punt formation. And interesting to see who was punting that time. Seipert was punting. The return across the 40 up to the 45 and across midfield before he goes down on the play. That is Elliott Williams, who's also a great baseball player for Gahanna Lincoln. So now it'll be the Lions taking over on offense, and they will tilt the field just across the 50 at the 49-yard line as we play just about 2 minutes and 7 seconds of this contest. Glad to have you aboard for week number 3 of the high school football game of the week on CSN. Blake Hickey, the quarterback you see on your screen. He's passed for just over 100 yards, 3 touchdowns. He replaces Bruce Himes, who was the starter last season. So mark it at the Patriot 49-yard line. The backs from an eye. Opening across the 47, and the wall shuts down there on the play, and that is it for one Darius Reeves. Again, we'll check out the starting lineups brought to you by Record.com. Go online and check out their $1,000 lower guarantee. Offensively, it looks like this for the squad from Gahanna Lincoln. Shalash, Reeves, Guthrie, Williams, McGinniger will get the start. Up front, Friend, Miller, Beatty, McCaskey, and Garvey. They do have a tight end, we should mention, too. Kevin Guthrie is their tight end. So we will at least see one tight end, Dale, in this contest here tonight. Gain of a couple on that first down play. On second down, we've got Hankies, according to Tom Stout and company, before we start this play. So we'll sort this one out. Let's see if it's a call that goes on the offense.
Looked like somebody moved up in the interior.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, move it back across the 50-yard line all the way to the 48. It'll be second down from there. There's Tom. We have seen him a couple of seasons, shall we say. Umpire is Dale Simpson, linesman is Rob Bachman, line judge is Jeff Gherkin, and the back judge is Don Godenschwager. Approaching 9 minutes left to go in the first quarter, so sit back, relax, get a beverage and a snack. Plenty of high school football action coming your way here on CSN. Second down into Baker's dozen, that's 13. They look for a seam, there is nothing there. Hickey gets it back to about the 49 and can't get any further than that. Rob Griffiths, by the way, is the defensive coordinator for the Patriots of Olentangy Liberty, with Schwartz, Capretta, and Kennedy up front. And the linebackers, look at those guys. And Fleming has done a great job, and Eaton as well, too. Kissel play strong safety, as will Berridge. Then you've got Creedy, Eggleston, and Welch also in the secondary. They've got some smaller kids when you look at it defensively in the secondary and sometimes at linebacker for Olentangy Liberty, but you know, they're very strong to the football, Dale.
Well, I think with this three-man front, you're trying to get more speed onto the field, and that's what Liberty does.
Hickey, the southpaw, guns it downfield. The pass complete inside the 30, down to the 27, and maybe the 26, as it goes to Kevin Guthrie, the tight end, who had one catch for 16 yards and a touchdown coming into this contest. He was a starter at strong guard last year, and now moves back to tight end where he was a couple of seasons ago.
Does an excellent job getting down the seam. A lot of times you want to get your tight end versus a single safety down into the seam, and Lincoln did that very well.
Gain of 25 on the play, down to the 26-yard line, 1st and 10 from there. Gahanna teams a few years back probably wouldn't be throwing that early in the contest, Dale, as they handed off to Reeves inside the 25, down around the 23, maybe the 22. I think when you think Gahanna in the past, so many times you think about the old style of 3 yards in a cloud of dust, but Mike Lanza has really opened up the offense as long as he thinks he has the personnel to do it.
Well, I think they feel pretty good about their quarterback at this point being able to get the ball down the field. And, you know, when you've got a great tailback, you've got to take some pressure off that offensive line and the tailback by throwing the football and opening it up a little bit.
You saw Trevor Shirey, his solid play in the defensive line. 2nd down now. They need just more than 5. They're going to keep it on the ground, find a seam. Look at Reeves go. Darius inside the 15, down to the 14-yard line. He will move the sticks with 7:17 left to go. And a stat I didn't realize, Dale, when you look at it, Mike Lanza, now in year number 13, every year he's been the head coach. As you look at the number of Reeves on the campaign, that guy, or whoever the tailback has been, has gone over 1,000 yards rushing.
Well, you know, Coach Lanza wants to run the football, and he's going to establish that early, and he's got a great tailback in Reeves to do just that tonight.
So it is 1st and 10 from the 13, just over 7 minutes left to go. It's Reeves to the right side. Good cut inside, and didn't seem like there was much of a seam there, but perhaps got a yard, and that's about it. Go ahead.
It's that speed of the Olentangy Liberty football team, and again in that three-man front with Damian Capretta on the tackle, again just showing that ability to run to the football and make a play.
And Capretta's got good speed, 5'10", 190. Not your prototypical nose guy, not a guy that's over 200 pounds, but plays it very solidly. He's quick. He likes fixing cars and art. 2nd down and a long 9 after a short gain. 6.5 left to go, and again the hankies and the whistles will stop things. Well, Dale, when was the last time you got a chance to see a high school football game in Central Ohio? Did you get to do that regularly at Ohio Dominican?
Yeah, we do that. We try and get out to watch games as much as we possibly can, but this is actually the first one that I've seen this year, and of course Ohio high school football is tremendous, and Central Ohio football is where we want to recruit our players at Ohio Dominican. So I'm glad I'm able to watch 2 good football teams tonight.
Steve Hale, you saw him in year number 5, 54 and 37, his career mark. 2 years as an assistant at Olentangy before this school opened up. He's a head coach at Groveport, and Shelby in the past as well, too. Hickey wants to keep, does so, gets inside the 15-yard line, brought down there. Good job defensively by Brett Coffey to kind of flow with that, Coach Carlson, and work his way to the outside and make the hit.
Well, you know, Coach Lanza had said in the pregame interviews that he wanted to try and run a little bit more option. Olentangy Liberty, though, has the speed to try and run people down, and right there was a great example. Blake was able to turn the corner, but he couldn't get much more than 2 yards because of Liberty's speed.
Coffey was the 4th linebacker last year. As you look at Ross Fleming, 2 out of 4 he has been all season. Started at outside linebacker last year, now plays in the middle. It is 3rd down. They need 11 with 5.5 left to go. Reeves on a 3rd down and long gets inside the 10-yard line, brought down at around the 8, perhaps the 7-yard line. Gang tackle. Among those making the hit was Trevor Shirey on the play. So it looks like they're setting up for a field goal.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to do that. You know, you would have thought maybe with them going to the run in that situation, maybe Coach was trying to see if he could get 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 and go for it on 4th down, but probably at 4th and 5, this is a good call with the field goal.
So it's a field goal opportunity now for Trevor Stewart. About 24 yards out, almost like an extra point. The snap and the kick, and it is up and it is good. And Gahanna getting first blood in this contest. 4:55 left to go in the quarter, and they lead now by a count of 3-0 here on the high school football game of the week. 3-0, some 7 minutes in, we'll take a break. Week number 3 of the Game of the Week here on CSN. We're local sports now.
You're watching the Columbus Sports Network.
As you look along the far side at part of the Brain Trust, there's Mike Lonzo with the headset moving from screen left to screen right, just leaving your shot right now. And what a job he has done as the head coach. And Gahanna content early on to take the 3 points on the road. There's the kick. It is high. It is deep. And he will start the return from the goal line. Apparently didn't break the plane. Eggleston out to the 20-yard line and brought down right there. That was very close, Dale. Many times the ball crosses the plane, it's where the ball crosses. And they said that the ball did not cross the plane. So the return is allowed, because otherwise, in high school football, not like what you see. Once that crosses the plane, it just stops the plane. It's dead, and we bring it back out to the 20 as a touchback.
Yes, we do, and that was great, tremendous kick coverage by Lincoln's kickoff team. They had 4 or 5 people down there on the play.
So mark the ball 1st and 10 now, officially at the 21-yard line. Gahanna Lincoln, were you surprised that they went for the 3 early?
No, not in that situation. 4th and 5, it's not unthinkable there to take that field goal and get those points on the road.
They keep it on the ground, and after Eggleston gets the handoff, he gets run into. Big hit on the play by Jeff White, the outside linebacker who comes up. Much has been made in the past about the size of Gahanna Lincoln, and I'm talking about the physical player and not the size of the roster. But, I think we're reaching an age and a time now, Dale, where we don't see that disparity anymore, where Gahanna Lincoln is so much larger than, say, a Division II team like Olentangy Liberty.
No question about that. With strength training and all the things that you do now in the off season, really a Division II or III school can have great size in the offensive line, have tremendously conditioned and strong players.
Saw the numbers on Alan Eggleston so far in the campaign. He's coming back. He is just a junior. And a whistle and a timeout is taken by Olentangy Liberty with 4:07 left to go. So the home team burns a timeout with 4:07 left to go as they confer along the near side. Their offensive coordinator is Zeb Schroeder in his 5th year. By the way, prior to that, he was at Olentangy. So Olentangy was a good feeder, if you will, for Liberty as well, too.
Well, that's not uncommon when you have schools open up in new districts that they go and tab the good assistants from those good programs. And Olentangy's been a good program. Coach Terwilliger's done a great job over there.
Hey, Buckeye fans, tune in each and every Wednesday at 10 o'clock for Buckeye Football Express. Join Ray Crawford, Dion Miller, and somebody named Gary Barry for weekly highlights, analysis, and interviews as CSN takes you inside the 2007 season. Buckeye Football Express, Wednesdays on CSN. It is local sports
now.
Oh, Dale's got it down. One game, one try, and already he's got it nailed.
Well, that's because I watch you all the time on Clippers and Destroyers games, Randy.
Jeff who? Jeff who? Marked the ball at the 24-yard line. Some miscommunication there as to a play or a lineman?
It could have been.
See what happens now with the ball resting at the 24. They picked up 3 on 1st down from the gun. Seipert looking long downfield, and the pass overthrown. A pair of 7s going after the football for Gahanna Lincoln. That was Ballinger was closest to it. The intended receiver was Trevor Vanskoy, though. Vanskoy 7 catches, 133 yards coming into this contest.
It's interesting to see Ballinger out there playing defensive back right now. I guess that back injury must be feeling pretty good because he had great coverage on that play.
Well, he does wear lucky number 7 as well, too, so
yes,
that must help as well. Little lineup change here at the last minute for Olentangy Liberty as Dustin Welch will check in as a wideout and Cameron Whitner will check out. Whitner is a junior. It's interesting. There are 2 sets of sophomores of the twin variety on that roster for Olentangy Liberty. Not 1 set of twins, but 2 sets, and both sophomores.
Quarterback draw.
Seipert gets up to the 23, maybe the 24-yard line, and he's not going to pick up the 1st down with 3:50 left to go here in the quarter.
Well, they went to the quarterback draw there, tried to spread out with a trips formation to the left, and looked like they're trying to fake a little screen, too, with the running back, and Seipert took the ball down, but unfortunately couldn't get the 1st down.
We'll have to gaze for number 4, Shane Barnhart, along the sidelines as you look at Seipert as the quarterback, but he's going to stay on to punt because we have not seen Barnhart punting. We've seen Seipert, but you almost wonder if they're setting up something here. They don't go all the way back, and that time the catch is made by Reeves, and he loses his balance right at the 47-yard line. But, Dale, you almost sense they're setting up something with keeping the quarterback Seipert out there to punt as well.
Well, they might also be trying to keep Reeves up at the corner instead of getting him back there into a punt return formation so that they don't punt the ball to him, although unfortunately he did this time, but Liberty had great coverage.
So it'll be 1st and 10 now from the 47-yard line. And there is Cypress, and there's Mike Lons along the far side. And well, I go back to Mike when he was an assistant coach at Pickerington. He spent 5 years there, 6 years at Jonathan Alder. Then after that, 5 years at Whitehall. He's got 125 victories in his career. He is just a child at the age of 49. You can see his mark.
Definitely a little younger than, well, we won't go there.
Let's see, you're one more than him, and I'm one more than you. That's painful. From the 47-yard line, it is 1st and 10 for the Lions from there, with Elliott Williams wide at the top of the set. Ginniger is wide at the bottom. And the handoff that time goes to Reeves. That was kind of a tricky little handoff that time.
Well, he's trying to get a little bit of misdirection. They pulled the backside tackle and tried to lead him up inside, catch that little misdirection play. And again, you know, that's 5-6 yards. That's not bad when you're in 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5. That's where you want to be on 2nd down.
See Jason Kissel, and what a season he's had already. He had 2 interceptions last week, big number 12. Against Ironton, good for 49 yards. Also had yet another one for a touchdown, but it was called back because of a penalty on the Patriots.
But he's making some big plays, so it'll be interesting to see what he can do tonight.
They need 4 more after getting 6 on 1st down. Reeves time. What a spin move. Inside the 45, down to the 41.
You know, Reeves showed his power right there. There was a Liberty player right there ready to make the tackle, and he spun right out of it and showed that not only is he a slashing runner, as Coach Lanza said, but showed a little power there.
The nice thing is, too, he doesn't have a smaller frame. He's not the 5'10" kind of guy. He's 6'1", closer to about 175 pounds right now.
And breaking those arm tackles, that's what you like to see out of your tailback.
There's a 360. There's 3 more yards after that. Down to the 41. It's 1st and 10 for the Lions from the Patriot 41. Under 2.5 left to go in the quarter. Reeves again. Now this looks like a Gahanna football of old, Dale, as he takes it off tackle on the left side for a nice gain to around the 33, maybe the 32.
Well, you know, it's interesting if you watch again, it was the same little blocking scheme they ran on 1st down, except they did it with the power I formation. Then they pulled a strong side tackle, and that time they led up with the tackle and those 2 the fullback and the extra running back, and if you're going to get gaps like that, Reeves is going to have a big night.
Approaching 40 yards already here in the 1st quarter. Just under 2 minutes left to go as Elliott Williams goes to the top of the set. Now they've been able to move the football on the ground. You would think they would do the same thing here on a 2nd down and short, just more than 1.
Good play action down, though.
But not this time. Reeves has got the 1st down and churns to the 26. That's the other thing, Dale, watching him. He keeps those legs working and moving all the time.
Well, you know, it's no doubt that he's a tremendous running back and very well coached, as you would expect from a Coach Lanza back. He knows how to get those 1,000-yard runners, and when you're keeping your legs moving and keeping your pad level low, you're going to get a lot of yards.
Now, do you think this is a guy that is perhaps a MAC player? Because I know some D1 schools have been looking at him.
Well, you know, again, he's got that burst, and he's kind of lean, and I can understand why they're looking at him as a cornerback, but he's a tough physical player. You never know when he gets to the next level.
Reeves inside the 25 and fights down to the 20 where a scrum breaks out and stopped there. About 4 Patriots needed to bring him down on that play, including number 57, Brett Coffey, again coming up from his outside backer slot.
Yeah, and Reeves made a great move. You know, he had about a 3 or 4 yard gain, and then something we call a little jump cut, where he stepped to his right and kind of jumped back to the left and was able to pick up 2 or 3 more yards.
Under a minute left to go in the quarter. Gahanna Lincoln up by 3 and looking for more, as now they send Jonathan Shivner wide at the top as you check out the defense of Mr. Coffey. It's Reeves time again. Short gain, if anything, maybe a yard on the play. That time it is Coffey getting some help on the play from number 77, Michael Hilty.
Well, Coffey that time was able to get his pad level a little bit lower. He defeated the block and was right there to make the tackle for looks like a loss of 1 or no gain.
Down to the sidelines now, and Gary Berry. Gary?
Now this Liberty team has not been scored on this season. They run a 3-5, so it gives the smaller kids a chance up front, and someone's always blitzing.
Yeah, the defense has been outstanding for Liberty, but they're being tested here because already they've yielded 3 points courtesy of Gahanna Lincoln and a field goal, and Gahanna looking for more as we wrap up the first stanza. After 12 minutes, Gahanna Lincoln, the road team, on top 3-0 over Olentangy Liberty. This is the high school football game of the week on Columbus Sports Network. And And welcome back to Olentangy Liberty High School, as right now the Patriots down to the Golden Lions of Gahanna Lincoln, 3-0. Boy, are we being politically correct saying all the names and all the nicknames. So many people just say Gahanna and Liberty. By the way, if you call the high school on the east side, they go ahead and say Lincoln High School. And just like that, before we start the second quarter, Gahanna Lincoln is going to burn a timeout immediately, so they will take a timeout. You look at the stats, Dale, from that first period, and you look at the numbers from the first 12 minutes, 84 yards to 1 for the Patriots.
Well, you know, it's tough to win any football game at any level if you're not moving the football, and unfortunately Liberty's offense has been pretty much stymied by the Lincoln defense, and you know, the Lincoln is starting to wear them out, I think, up front, rushing the football.
As you look at the Liberty cheerleaders along the near side, and that's the thing, high school football is more than just the football players. Coach Carlson would like you to think it's just about the guys in between the yard lines, but we will feature the cheerleaders. And at halftime, we'll also bring you both high school marching bands, and we will bring you all their songs that they perform, Gahanna Lincoln and Olentangy Liberty. Stick around for that. Big third down play here now for the Lions after that timeout. Going to keep it on the ground. Reeves finds a seam inside the 20.
I don't think he
got
got
to the 18, but he looks to be about a yard and a half shy of that first down.
Well, you know, this is, again, it'll be an interesting call here for Coach Lanza, but they've been dominating the line of scrimmage, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him go for it here on fourth down.
Look at it one more time. Reeves finds that seam inside, but just not enough, and a good job defensively to clog it up. I'll tell you, one guy that got to the bottom very quickly to close that down was McTata.
Well, all three Liberty defensive linemen, though, were able to drive the line of scrimmage back and open up the play for the linebackers.
Fourth and a long one. Three backs in the backfield. Reeves off the left side, and he's got the first down inside the 17-yard line, so move the sticks. Some 45 seconds in for the second quarter.
Yeah, it really wasn't a bad job up front by Liberty. It just Reeves was able to step to the outside, and unfortunately that strong side linebacker couldn't get over in time to make the play.
You look at the defense for the Patriots and big number 42, Damian Capretta up front, and they're being tested here in week number 3. We mentioned, and Gary did too, that they had 2 shutouts coming into week number 3, but already the Lions with a field goal looking for more, and right now they're +5 are the Lions in that first down category. Reeves again. Inside the 10, down around the 8, maybe the 7. He's going to produce Larry Johnson-like numbers here tonight with about 40 carries.
I was going to say, you know, it's not like he's getting the big breakaway run, but when you're able to just get 5 and 6 and 7 and 8 yards at a pop, it's demoralizing for the defensive team that's out there, and it sure gives your team on offense a lot of confidence.
You're in the secondary. Can you stop Reeves? And that's the thing, though, too, Dale. One of these times, somebody will miss a tackle, and then he can take it the distance. So mark it down inside the 9-yard line, and we've got whistles before we start this second down and short play with 10:25 left to go. And we'll see if it's a false start perhaps on the offense. Mr. Stout comes our way again and says, indeed, that's the case. Move it back 5 against the Lions. Well, you look at Darius Reeves, and, you know, I remember Anton Robinson, who preceded him, but he's got everything you want in a running back at Gahanna Lincoln High School. And he's got the frame, he's got the speed, and he's got the experience. A couple of years ago, they had him both as a wide receiver and a running back deal. That's kind of the way they get their feet wet at Gahanna Lincoln. You know, maybe a little wide out, little defensive back, get some contact, and then put you between the tackles.
Well, you know, he's a good athlete, and he can play at a lot of different positions. And, you know, now that he's taken the ball 9 times in this drive, let's see if he goes for 10.
He does. And the defense tries to stay at home, and they do. It looked like Eggleston coming up from the secondary to make the hit on the play.
Well, you know, you always want your safeties running downhill, and he did a great job coming downhill and made a tackle.
Eggleston, number 37, the cornerback, making the hit as you look at part of the defense along the far side of the field. Number 53 is Ross Fleming. We talked about this guy. He's going to go to the Air Force Academy perhaps. He's been offered by them. He replaces Ridge Reibold. You can see his vital stats so far in the campaign. He likes American history, law, and lacrosse team. On third down, look out! Hickey cannot throw. He got waylaid back in the backfield. Number 77 coming through. That is Michael Hilty with the hit.
Well, and right there, Liberty did a nice job. A little bit of change up in the defense. They got out of that 3-5 stack look, put everybody up on the line of scrimmage, and were able to get a free defender in there for the sack.
It looked like a missile coming through there, so it'll
somebody missed
a field goal.
Somebody missed an assignment up front because he came scot-free.
Holding is Elliott Williams, the wideout, who was also, by the way, a backup quarterback. Food for thought. Perhaps 36 yards out. It is low. It doesn't have enough juice, and it's going to die short with 8:46 left to go. So a good job by the Liberty defense that time. Dale of bending but not breaking.
Well, Liberty needed to have a stop because with Reeves running the football at him and getting a lot of yards, they needed to get a stop, and they did.
And that didn't have much of a chance. That one just kind of was a quail and just died, but they already had one field goal, so no reason not to attempt a second one. And we stay now at 3-0 at 8:45 left to go. And let's see if Liberty can get on track offensively as that man, Ryan Seifert, is their leader. Returning starter at quarterback against Westerville North, though. 14 carries, Dale, in that contest for 180 yards, and he passed for over 100 yards and a touchdown as well.
When you've got a triple threat, when you can get 100 yards passing, 100 yards rushing, you're getting a lot of offense. Hopefully they can get on track there.
1st and 10. Eggleston. Boy, a great job by that defense to just string it out, and I can feel the vibration under my feet of the frustrated offensive people from Olentangy Liberty up here in the press box as they were hoping to find a seam to the outside, but the defense did a great job of just stringing that out.
Eggleston did a great job again coming downhill from the secondary and was able to make that play on the sideline, hold him to no gain.
So no gain for Eggleston, and I'll mark it maybe up to the 21, so about a half yard closer to 1. We'll make it 2nd down and long from there. They need 9. Seifert brings him back up. Great arm, great touch, runs well. Of course, we mentioned on the pregame that his dad is Greg Seifert, the hitting coach and assistant head coach for baseball at Ohio State.
Got him on the sideline.
Pass is complete across the 35.
Great tackle by Eggleston.
To the 40-yard line.
Great tackle by Eggleston there. I thought that might have an opportunity to turn that one up the sideline.
Ballinger with a hit on the play.
Oh, it's Ballinger, I'm sorry.
As Vanskoy with the reception. Take a look one more time. Good throw, good catch, and if he gets away from the extended reach there of Mr. Ballinger, Vanskoy has a chance to take it the distance. We mentioned he had 7 catches coming into this contest for 133 yards and 3 touchdowns, so not bad work when you can get it. Take a look at those numbers. A 19-yard average, played varsity and JV last year. One thing he does very well, and you can see it on that play, he goes up and he gets the ball. 1st down and 10, mark it at the 39, again from that pistol set, if you will. Eggleston, not this time. Everybody is coming. And leading the charge was Jeff White, the outside linebacker.
I think that's, again, that size of the Gahanna Lincoln front, really able to control Liberty's offensive linemen and frees those linebackers up to run and make plays. And that's what you want to do in a 4-3 defense, is control the line of scrimmage and free your linebackers up to make plays.
White, not the largest guy. You look at his frame at 5'11", 184, but had a big hit in week number 1 against Mifflin that led to a Darius Reeves fumble recovery for a touchdown, and he loves college football.
Well, he plays that weak side linebacker spot. You don't have to be big, you just have to be able to run.
They lost 3 on 1st down. Seifert, look out, he's coming after him again, and he cannot get away in the backfield. As the pressure was brought on one more time by Jeff White.
I thought Seifert almost had that ball stripped there. That was a great play.
As 2 met 2 in the backfield again, so looks like White almost is spying Seifert on the play.
Well, I think he was coming out of, I don't know if he got fooled by the play fake and then he just decided to keep coming, or that was a blitz, but it was a tremendous play.
Move it back now to the 30. They have to get the ball all the way up to the 49, so they need 19 yards here on 3rd down. Nearly halfway through this quarter, you can see what Liberty has done so far. The Patriots zip out of 2 in 3rd down conversions. They give it to the fullback, Eaton, who has a couple of yards out to around the 33-yard line, but it's going to set up a 4th down and long. And right now, if you're Steve Hale, you're hoping that your offense can get on track, and your defense made a nice stand last time. He's going to count on his defense to make the big play again.
Oh, no question about it. I think in that 3rd and very, very long, instead of trying to throw one down the field, try and get what you can get. Hopefully with a good punt, pin Gahanna Lincoln back and make them go the length of the field to score.
And this time, Barnhart is on to punt the ball, averaging 32.7 yards a kick, as long as 35. He likes math, ski club, and playing Madden 08. Good recovery on a high snap, but
shanked it.
The kick goes nowhere. Very short kick. We'll see where they mark it out of bounds. It'll be positive yardage, but not that much. And Gahanna again will play on a short field. 6:05 left to go in a half. The Lions up 3-0. This is the high school football game of the week on CSN. We are local sports now. And welcome back on a 1st down play for Gahanna Lincoln. They start the drive from inside the 40 at the 39. They keep it inside. Reeves on the carry picks up maybe 2 on the play. It'll be second down. 5:50 left to go in the first half. Randy Reinhardt, Dale Carlson, Gary Berry, our statistician Steve Bassford, and the entire CSN team. Glad to have you aboard for week number 3 of the high school football game of the week here on Columbus Sports Network as Olentangy Liberty puts their 2-0 mark on the line against the Lions of Gahanna Lincoln at 1-1.
Yeah, it's tough to give the team the ball on your side of the football field here. Liberty needs another big stand.
Hickey looks, and he's got Williams inside the 30, inside the 25, and Elliott down to the 22-yard line. There's so many things about this kid you have to like athletically. Elliott Williams, just a great baseball player. He had a grand total of 3 catches for 44 yards coming into this contest and 4 carries for 23 yards. Plays defensive back and is a backup quarterback and a great player on the baseball team.
And you know, he did a nice job sitting down in the soft spot in this 3-5-3 zone defense that Liberty is running, and he picked up 7 or 8 yards after the catch. He got those yaks, yards after catch,
we
Randy.
love those yaks. Even when we're not at the zoo, we like the yaks. And a whistle and a timeout. Gahanna Lincoln going to take a timeout. That's their second one. They have 1 remaining. Olentangy Liberty with 2 remaining here in the first half. Hey, fans, don't miss Major League Soccer here on CSN. Join us Saturday, September the 8th, as the Crew will take on the Chicago Fire. The action begins with the On the Pitch show hosted by the lovely and talented Dion Miller at 7. Then stay tuned for the game at 7:30. We're going to try it again. Ready? The Columbus Crew on CSN. It is local sports
now.
Ooh, even the Crew saying now. And what we're going to do later on this season is we're going to have the cheerleaders and the fans and everybody saying the now at the end of it. And then we'll get them to do the local sports now. And pretty soon we'll get to the point where we don't have to show up for the games. Dale will just let them call the contest.
There you go. There you go. It's interesting here, both the last 2 sets here. Gahanna Lincoln is lined up in a little bit of spread. They've gotten away from that power eye and trying to spread the field a little bit. But, you know, that might work in their favor, too, because it's just going to give Darius Reeves a few more yards to work with.
As they go with a wide out way top of the set now, it's KC Sparks. And look at the bottom now. They go with a triad to the bottom of the formation, a wing to the top, and Blake Hickey out of that mini gun keeps it himself and just puts his head down inside the 20-yard line down to the 19. So they, again, Dale try to spread out the defense and keep it on the ground.
I think trying to get Liberty to move out to the trips, and of course then you still have Reeves in the backfield, so they have to key on him, and Blake called his own number and just took it straight ahead.
That's the other thing I remember from Gahanna Lincoln down through the years is all the misdirection they used to use in the backfield too, and the occasional option as well too. You look at Blake Hickey at quarterback, he kind of reminds you of Danny Swingle, who was a quarterback at Gahanna in the past. Second down. Hickey looking, gunning downfield, jump ball, and overthrown for Williams at the 2-yard line, and a flag on the play. Eggleston in coverage at the goal line, and a flag at the 5.
Well, Hickey threw the ball a little bit behind him. I thought if he'd have put it on him, he would have had that post route for a touchdown.
Now, one thing I always have to say, there's no such thing as an uncatchable ball, remember, in high school football. Unlike your level, do you have uncatchables?
Oh, we definitely have uncatchables, although sometimes the officials see it a little bit differently than I do on the sidelines on those plays. But he definitely came over the top of him.
With contact on the helmet and over the top. So the penalty will be marked off against the Patriots and put the ball right around the 10. It should be. That's exactly where it is with 4:29 left to go. Great week of high school football action here. Week number 3, our other contest is Eastmore Academy and Grandview Heights. Isaiah Pede, well, that guy looks like he's going to be another 1,000-yard rusher this season for the Warriors and the Bobcats at 1-1.
Yeah, no question, another Division I back in Central Ohio.
Reeves finds an opening off the left side and just shimmies his way down to the 7, maybe the 6-yard line on a first down play.
Well, just again, it's that little power lead play out of the full house, or I'm sorry, the power I formation, and they're just creating another line of scrimmage and just pushing the Liberty defenders back.
Reeves approaching 75 yards in the campaign. I'm going to say this now. I'm not sure how he feels about it this week, but his dad played for that school up north.
Uh-oh.
They had a rough week last week.
Yes, they did.
Second down. Reeves, wow, he got nailed. Drilled in the backfield. A great job defensively by number 57 to come through, and that is Brett Coffey. I'll tell you what, Coffey's had a career already. He's had more than a cup of coffee in the first half.
Well, you know, they ran a little line stunt right here. You can see all the defensive linemen coming into their inside gap, and that opened Coffey up, and he was able to make the play for a loss.
So again, the Patriot defense willing to bend a little bit. See if they can hold on third down and force another field goal attempt. You can see the vital stats on Brett so far in the campaign. Rob Griffiths, the defensive coordinator, egging on his D in year number 5, running the D. Linebackers are very good. Defensive line may be undersized, but they are quick. Big play for the Lions here on 3rd down. Reeves off the right side, forget it. Well, they center the football if nothing else.
Well, you know, the great thing here about the Liberty defense is they've got to come out of here with a lot of confidence. Again, Gahanna Lincoln had the ball at the 40-yard line, and now they're holding them to a field goal. So that's a tremendous defensive stance for Liberty.
Trevor Stewart to attempt the field goal from the 15. It would be a 25-yard attempt. Stewart had that first field goal of 25 yards as well. Middle of the field, there's a snap, the kick, it is up, and it is good. 6-0 now, Gahanna Lincoln. Well, it's 3 more for the Lions, but a moral victory right now if you are Olentangy Liberty, because right now, if you get a touchdown, you're back in this contest. As Steve Hale exhorts on his troops, saying that's what I'm talking about, playing that solid defense. But for the Patriots, they have to find some kind of elixir to get that offense going. And
they need to get the football, and they can't keep giving Lincoln field position on their half of the field. Eventually, that's going to wear you down, and Lincoln's going to put some points on the board in the form of touchdowns, not field goals.
Mike Lanza talking to his quarterback, Blake Hickey, going over some stuff, and tell you that Olentangy Liberty defense has been very effective, but I like what I see out of the Gahanna Lincoln offense, too. And remember, Dale, the last 2 seasons, what Gahanna Lincoln has done. I mean, we mentioned the fact that they've been in the playoffs for the last 6 years, but, I mean, last season, they upset Lancaster in the first round, 33-28. There's the graphic about them making it to the playoffs, as we said, 4 of the last 6 times. 2 years ago, Newark beat them at Gahanna in Week 10 of the regular season for the Wildcats to go undefeated for the first time since, I think, Aaron Huffman's dad was the quarterback. Huffman was the quarterback then. Then the next week they turn around and Gahanna gets the victory then. Last year, Gahanna Lincoln 8-4. 2 years ago, 7-5. Ballinger with a kick as Stewart made the field goal, and Eggleston will start the return for the 6. There's a wall at the 20, and he cannot cross it.
Well, you know, last year Lincoln was playing their best football definitely at the end of the year, and it looks like right now, at least the way their defense is playing, they're trying to pick up right where they left off in the 2006 season.
And for Olentangy Liberty, a team that right now is 2-0 last year, 8-3, made it to the postseason. Obviously, their 3 losses were by a total of 13 points. 2 years ago, 9-2. 3 years ago, 8-3, and then 4 years ago in their first season, they were 1-9. But here's a school that made the postseason in their 2nd year of existence.
That's a tremendous job by their coaching staff, and a great job by their kids to do that in year 2.
Seifert looking, has plenty of time, guns downfield, pass overthrown for Van Scoy at the 35-yard line. And Dale Carlson can appreciate what it's like to take a program and build it and try to make postseason. He took Ohio Dominican just 3 short seasons ago and took that program, and last year went, what, 7-3?
7-3. We finished 17th in the country. We just missed the NAIA national playoffs, and we were proud of what our kids did, and hopefully we're going to make an improvement this year.
You had a nail biter in week number 1. What was the final count?
Well, you know, we don't like to talk about those things too much, but it was 71-0.
And this week it's Iowa Wesleyan, is it not?
Yes.
They're digging it. There's a mosh pit. 2nd down and 10. Kids love cameras and candy. Downfield, Vance going nearly with a one-handed catch, and Dale looked like the exact same play.
Well, you know, they tried, I think they're seeing something they like on those out routes. That was off the play fake and went to it again, and maybe a little bit better throw, we would have had him. But the only other first down they've really gotten in the game was on a very similar type of pass play, so they see that outcut as something they feel they can get.
So it is 3rd down and 10 now from the 19, approaching the end of the first half. 2:17 left to go. You see what Ryan has done so far in the first half. Not numbers indicative of what he normally does on the campaign, but trying to get a read for this defense. As checking in is Dustin Welch, one of the wideouts. He had 2 catches, Dustin did, for 19 yards, and Seifert doesn't like what's going on. I think he's going to burn a timeout with 2:17 left to go. Let's see if they take a timeout.
I don't know if the 25-second clock got set a little bit quicker than what Coach Hale and his staff were anticipating, or if they just didn't get the right play called on the messenger system there.
Yeah, Coach Hale, I think, is pleading his case about that right now along the near side, but They'll burn a timeout, their second, so each team has one timeout remaining in the remaining 2:17 here in the first half, with Gahanna Lincoln converting 2 field goals. Gahanna, by the way, now on the campaign, 33-0 is what they've outscored their opponents in quarter number 2 so far. Hey, don't miss high school football gridiron action Friday, September the 14th. Catch the high school football game night show with Mark DeShark and Jeff Logan, presented by WTDA 103.9 and CSN at 9:30. Then stay tuned at 10 o'clock for CSN's doubleheader coverage of the very best in Central Ohio high school football. Game 1 is CSN's wildcard matchup of the week. Game 2, it's the Cards of Thomas Worthington taking on the Golden Bears of Upper Arlington. Put that on your cell phone. Columbus Sports Network. It is local sports now. I did that one myself.
Yeah, you caught me. You got there before I could.
I was Haagen-Dazsing it. Well, it's now a 3rd down and 10, 2:17 left to go. They threw it on the first 2 downs. You would think they would put it up again, trying to pick up the 10 yards.
Well, he could, but again, there's only 2:17 to go in the half, and if you can get a decent punt, pin them down in terms of field position again, and try and get out of the half at 6-0. That may be the way that they're thinking about going. But I guess that's why we're going to watch the next play. We'll see.
I always appreciate the insight of a coach who's dealing with college football and has time to take a gander here at a high school contest on CSN. We're honored to have Dale Carlson tonight. Ohio Dominican filling in for Jeff Logan. Jeff will be back next week. On the 3rd down play, from that pistol set as they roll to the left. Contemplates, keeps it, pushes his offensive lineman forward. Gets across the 25-yard line, but Dale looks to be about maybe 2 yards shy of that first down.
Well, there's great coverage downfield. He was trying to get the ball down the sideline, and Lincoln stepped up, made him have to run the football.
And if you're Olentangy Liberty, you're going to milk some of that clock. And remember, each team with only 1 timeout remaining here in the first half, although they're going to say that Cypress looks like went out of bounds, so the clock is stopped with 2:09 left. So it's a punting situation now for the Patriots. Cypress, almost a soccer approach when he gets that ball off.
It's that rugby-style kick that's become very popular in college football and making its way down to high school now.
They're going to just milk some of that clock, and we'll stop it with the ball at the 29 with 1:56 left to go. This copyrighted telecast is the sole property of the Columbus Sports Network and is intended solely for the private, non-commercial use of our audience. Any rebroadcast, publication, reproduction, transmission, or other unauthorized use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this telecast without the express written consent of the Columbus Sports Network is strictly prohibited. Mark it at the 29, 1st and 10. Gahanna Lincoln can move the ball in the air and on the ground. What do you try to do right now?
Well, of course, they're in the I formation right now. You wonder if they're going to try a little bit of play action here to Reeves and see if they can get the ball down the field. But they may be content to run out of here at 6-0 too, unless they can get a first down.
Remember, the Lions won the toss. They deferred, so they'll have the ball to start the second half. Darius Reeves across the 30-yard line up to around the 34. He's approaching the century mark here in the first half with 1:45 left to go.
And you do take that into consideration. If you're going to get the ball to start the second half, you have a lead, you're backed up a little bit. You don't want to turn the football over or give Liberty an opportunity to get the football back and maybe get some points on the board. So not surprising here that they opened up with a run on first down.
Might it not be predicated, though, on what happens here on the 2nd down play?
Could be. Maybe we'll see that play action I've been talking about.
There it is. Reeves has got 78 yards on the ground, and it's picked off. Bad choice. Interception. Patriots have it. It'll be a short field, and coming back the other way is Kyle Creedy. Creedy getting ground, and he is smeared at the 47-yard line. But Kyle Creedy makes a big play defensively. A 3-year starter. 2 years ago had 2 interceptions and 3 tackles against Whetstone. Last year he had 3 interceptions in the Big Walnut 7-0 victory and gives Liberty a chance at the Lincoln 43-yard line.
And watch Creedy here, makes a great break on the ball, steps right in front and picks it off. That's a tremendous play by Kyle Creedy.
Reads Williams and the quarterback as well in Hickey, and now with 1:09 left to go, let's see if Cypress and company opt to put it up and try to set up perhaps a field goal opportunity.
Well, this is their best field position of the night. Let's see if Liberty can get some points on the board.
Ryan rolling to his left again. Looking, tucking, needs to get out of bounds if he can. Gets down to around the 42-yard line, and they throw the flag for the late hit.
Yeah, they're going to get 15 more.
So the big break for Liberty, actually 2 come in the way of a pass, and now a penalty at the end of the play. There's the dead ball personal foul on the defense. Take a look, Dale, as he steps out of bounds.
Yeah, he definitely was going out of bounds, and both, it's hard to see which two players that was, but they both took him out of bounds on that with the late hit.
Fairness, though, to those players, you don't look down to see where that stripe is near the end of the play either.
No, it's tough to do, you know, and I don't think that was nothing malicious. It was just an aggressive play, and unfortunately, you know, his foot was already out of bounds.
So mark the ball down to the 25-yard line. 63 seconds left in the half. Liberty down by 6 points. They have one timeout remaining. A late add-on is Cameron Whitner, one of the wideouts, a junior. 5'7", 160. You can call him a water bug. He likes running crisp routes.
Hey, you got to love receivers that want to run crisp routes.
That's right. Too wide to either side. Cypriot, pumps, looks, pumps again, and fights to the 23. Now, do you take the timeout? You've only got one left.
Well, I think you might have to right here, unless they can get up to the line of scrimmage quick.
Going to hurry the wide receivers back and get him the line. Time winding down. You see on the upper right of your screen, approaching 40 seconds left in the half. On second down. Ryan knows now he has to throw it, and he does, and gets the gain inside the 15-yard line. Well, we'll stop the clock as they move the chains as Kyle Creedy makes the catch on the play, the slot back, with 5 catches coming into this contest. That'll move the chains so you have a brief respite, if you will, but then the clock will start if he didn't make it all the way out of bounds.
It was hard to tell from our angle if he got out of bounds or
He did.
He did.
Yep, so that's a break. Mark it at the 13-yard line. So half a minute left to go. You see the stats on Creedy coming into this contest. A long of 21. You can see it's not caught a touchdown pass, but there's a guy that's effective on offense and defense.
No, he's definitely a playmaker for Coach Hale. Let's see if they try and go to him again.
From the far hash, half a minute left. 1st and 10, just inside the 14-yard line. Cypriot across the middle, gunning the pass. Do we have contact? Yes, we did. They throw the flag as they look for Creedy at the 5-yard line.
You know, again, that's one of those aggressive penalties. You have to go for the football in that situation. You certainly don't want to give him a touchdown pass, and unfortunately, he was just there a little bit too early.
Take a look one more time. And again, you cannot fault the play of Alex McGinniger.
Now he's just trying to be aggressive in that situation. You certainly don't want to give up a touchdown pass.
He's got 1 pick on the season, good for 15 yards. 25.9 left in the half. And again, Liberty with 1 timeout remaining. 2 to the bottom, 1 to the top. Cypriot looks in the corner and runs out of real estate on the far side of the field. It was caught, but Trevor Vanskoy was already near Olentangy Orange High School when he made the catch.
Well, they were trying to go for that jump ball in the corner, and then unfortunately the throw was just a little bit out of bounds. Maybe a little bit more up the field, aiming at that far pylon, he might have been able to get it.
Well, the Lions have done their best to keep this drive alive with the 2 hankies already for just more than 20 yards. A late ad coming out of the field now. It's Cale Garverick. Garverick will check in. He plays some fullback, also can play on a wing, so he will check into this contest. Cypriot. Well, he can buy time, can he? Can he buy enough, though? Nope, he can't. Down to the 16. They're going to have to take that timeout. Great job defensively, not going for the fake at all, was Victor Hatcher. Hatcher, the big defensive tackle, number 59 on your screen, gets the sack.
Yeah, but Hatcher does a great job coming off the block right there and just chases down the quarterback and makes a big sack, and that's a big sack in this situation. Now you put him in 3rd and 17.
And you force the Patriots to burn their final timeout. You can see the vital stats on Victor Hatcher, who's a guy that plays on both sides, on the offensive and the defensive line. He likes biology, cars, and animals.
You hate to have your quarterback take a sack in that situation. You know, we talk to our guys all the time about understanding your down and distance and where you are in field position, and trying to get rid of the football if you can, and go back to 3rd down and 10 or 8 or whatever you had before that.
Well, if you're looking at a field goal situation, if they don't convert here, Todd Henderly has had some touchbacks this season as a kickoff man. He's made 11 of 11 extra points. You see the timeout scenario. His range on field goals, they think, is up to 42 yards. So if the ball is placed at the 25-yard line, I think that's about his range. Right now, you're looking at a field goal attempt that's just inside his range. So we'll see what they opt to do here. The ball's currently at the 18, so inside his range. But right now, if you're Olentangy Liberty, you're trying to think touchdown here with 14.4 left to go. Way wide to the top of the set now. It's Dustin Welch.
Especially without any timeouts left, they're going to have to try and throw the ball to the end zone. If it's not a touchdown, it's incomplete pass, stop the clock, kick the field goal.
3 guarding 2 to the top. Looking in the corner, it's a jump ball, and incomplete again. A little too strong, too much juice along the far side for Dustin Welch. See if they bring on Todd Henderly and go for that field goal attempt with 8.9 left to go in the half.
Well, this is very important for Liberty to get some points on the board here. You know, you don't want to come away with this drive with nothing.
Steve Hale hoping to hail his team, but not getting what he wants on that play. So again, it'll be a field goal attempt of some 34 yards. Todd Henderly to attempt it. High snap.
Got enough leg.
Is it too far to the right?
Yes.
It is too far to the right. Maybe overcompensation with that high snap as it kind of delayed things a little bit. Good job by Seipert to bring it down. And with 3.7 seconds left, the ball goes back to Gahanna Lincoln.
Well, you know, it's the timing in the kicking game, and if your snap and holder and kicker aren't all on the same page, and there was a high snap, you know, with a little hesitation step in the kick, and he pushed it wide.
Saw the good pause, too, of the quarterback, Ryan Seipert, just to pull that one down and give him a chance.
Oh, it was an excellent hold by Seipert.
Well, I assume it's kiss time if you're Gahanna Lincoln here. Keep it simple,
Oh,
stupid.
I think you're probably taking a knee, and we're going in up 6-0 and getting the ball back.
Although I remember last year against Gahanna Lincoln, Dublin Kaufman, we thought the same thing would happen. They threw an 80-yard touchdown pass on the last play of the half. So I've learned that stranger things have happened. And a whistle, and Gahanna Lincoln is actually going to burn a timeout. You know why?
They had 10 people on the field, I think.
Bingo, they were one shy. Not for a trick play, but unless you consider 10 guys on the field a trick, not the kind of trick you want to pull off.
No, I bet Coach Lanza is not too happy about the fact that even though it's the end of the half, you never want somebody not paying attention on the sidelines and getting out there.
Have you ever pulled off a big play with only 10 on the field?
You know what? Actually, a couple years ago in my last job, we blocked a punt with 10 on the field.
At Tri-State?
At Tri-State, yeah. We only had 10 out there, and we had our punt block out. We were missing a guy, and we actually blocked it.
See what Hickey does here. It's Reeves time again. Darius, look out. He'll have a nice game. And he'll slide down across the 35. We see no flags. And a nice gain for Reeves, who with that run is approaching more than 90 yards here in this first half. And so far, it is Gahanna Lincoln. A couple of field goals. You know, last year I did a contest here, and it was 7-3 the final as Liberty got by New Albany. So D has been the key again so far in this contest. The week number 3 is the Lions get a couple of field goals as Stewart converts, and it's now 6-0 in this contest. If you're Olentangy Liberty, you want to see some offense. If you're Gahanna Lincoln, you know, you've shown some offense. I think you want to show that ability to finish and put away your opponent.
Well, I think right now, as they go into the locker room, I'm sure Coach Hale is going to talk about being able to control the line of scrimmage and moving the football.
And let's go down to the field, and Gary Berry standing by with one of the head coaches. Gary?
Coach Hale, you had a chance to cut the deficit by 3. You guys are down by 6. What are you going to tell the guys at halftime?
Well, we just got to go back and focus on fundamentals. We did a lot of things wrong in that half. We missed a lot of blocking assignments. The discipline was.
All right, thank you, Steve Hale and Gary Berry down on the football field. 6-0, the tally here at halftime. Gahanna Lincoln up by 2 field goals. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll take a look at both high school marching bands and their halftime shows. This is Columbus Sports Network. We are local sports now. Entertained now by the Olentangy Liberty High School Marching Band under Travis Hicks in his 5th year, 98 on the field. The assistant band directors are Craig Dunn, Jennifer Hicks, Rebecca Wolf, Jeremy Jorgensen, Ted Smith, Daniel Lewis, Bruce Carlson, and David Wolf. The field commander is Catlago Monticelli. Their halftime show is entitled Do Not Go Gentle Into That Good Night. The first number is entitled Prelude, and it features Jill Danker on trumpet. We want to tip our cap to Jennifer Hicks, the wife of the band director, Travis Hicks, who had surgery this past week. She is less than 100% right now, but our very best to you, and everybody wants you to be back in 100% in a short period of time. So congratulations to Olentangy Liberty High School Marching Band for an outstanding leader in Travis Hicks and all the great assistant band directors as well, too. Their second song, by the way, is entitled Allegra. They have some events coming up as well, too. They have a contest coming up at Bellbrook on September the 29th. So that is something coming up for Olentangy Liberty and Travis Hicks and company in year number 5. So just like Coach Hale, he has been there from the very start of this high school. Here now at halftime is the Olentangy Liberty High School Marching Band. And here now is Allegra, again part of their halftime show from Olentangy Liberty. Do not go gentle into that good night. That again, the Olentangy Liberty High School Marching Band under Travis Hicks. Again, a contest coming up at Bellbrook on September the 29th. For more information on the band, you can call 740-657-4275 or hit the net at libertyhighband.com. CSNGame.com. We're at halftime, 6-0. Gahanna Lincoln on top, rejoined now by Dale Carlson. And let's look at some of the halftime highlights. When you take a look at this first half, field goals on the scoreboard, but, you know, Dale, there were some interesting plays. Darius Reeves was able to come through with some big runs as he was approaching 100 yards. He had 21 carries for 95 yards. Did a good job of finding some seams.
Again, you see his tremendous ability to cut right there as he was able to get 6 or 7 yards on that inside run play.
Stewart with a couple of field goals in the first half, each 25 yards out. And there's Creedy with the pick. Good anticipation, stepping in front of Elliott Williams for the interception. And great defensive play on both sides in the first half. And then late in the half, there's the field goal attempt. And Coach Hale says, well, we came up a little short, but we heard him say at halftime, plenty of time, some corrections to make as Todd Henderly missed that attempt from about 35 yards out. 6-0 the tally here at the break. Back with the second half here on CSN in mere moments on the high school football game of the week. CSN would like to thank our cable partners tonight. Insight, Time Warner Cable, and wow. Before the start of the second half, let's go down to the sidelines. Gary Berry standing by with head coach Mike Alonso. Gary?
Little scared there in the first half, Coach. Defense held them at the end. You're up 6-0. Would you tell the truth at halftime?
Well, you know, the big thing is I should be wearing the dunce cap right now. You know, I got greedy there with a minute something to go, and I tried to go for the big ball because I thought I saw something. But, you know, for 30 years I've been running out the clock in that situation with the lead, and, you know, I just did something really stupid right there.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Good luck second half.
All right, thanks.
You know, Dale, I go back to what I said, remember about last year against Dublin Kaufman. Kaufman went for it. And I'm thinking in my head, Mike has got to be thinking subconsciously of that play that Mark Crabtree ran late in the first half, and he saw something, so he thought maybe I can exploit it the same way. It didn't happen, but his team played great football in the first half.
You know, yes, they did, and the big thing is he's got the lead here, 6-0. They're going to get the ball back here to start the second half.
And if you're Steve Hale, you're not that unhappy with your team's play. Offensively, you need to get something going, but you're only down by 6 points, less than a converted touchdown.
Well, you know, their defense has been actually playing pretty well. They've kept them out of the end zone, so let's see what happens.
Henderly with the boots, and it will make it into the end zone, and Gahanna Lincoln will bring it out to the 20-yard line. I guess the question I have is, how do you contain Darius Reeves? We saw him go 21 times for 95 yards in the first half.
Well, I think they've got to take their defensive line and start trying to slant a little bit harder, maybe bringing some pressure off the edge. Although I guess you pick your poison there, because if you get those outside linebackers coming up the field and Darius breaks the line of scrimmage, he's going to be in for a big play.
Blake Hickey to run the show again offensively. Brother Matt, Dad Steve were great athletes as well too. So mark it at the 20-yard line. And we're going to have a substitution infraction because they broke the huddle with 12 and one left the field.
That boy, you know, you don't want to start your second half that way with a penalty. You know, we talk about in our football team, we have a goal every week about these little penalties like that. We call them stupid penalties, and we sure don't want to have those.
And what's the penalty for having the penalty?
Well, we won't talk about that. Our players all know about what happens there.
I'm frightened. You can see the comparison so far. Eggleston just 3 carries for a yard. Reeves 21 for 95 yards. But the difference right now, just 6 points between the two teams. Again, the triangle to the bottom of the set. Hickey, wow, nothing there as they come shooting through to make the hit for a loss on the play. Good job defensively by big number 62, Logan Ta'ale. Well, down to the sidelines right now, and Gary Berry. Gary?
Now, talking pregame with defensive line coach John Blaine, saying these guys are small kids, but they're very quick and very disciplined. He said this is probably one of the most disciplined players and positions that he's had in his coaching career.
Now, Gary, you know that coach, do you not, from
yes,
your past
sir.
days?
He coached me freshman and sophomore year at Thomas Worthington High School. I'll tell you what, he's yelled at me many a times and got the most out of me.
And you deserved it too, doggone it. It's
definitely
tipped and still caught and rammed out of bounds. It's a good job by number 22, that is Alex McGinniger, to make the catch, but he got hammered at the end of the play with 11-17 left to go third quarter.
You know, Liberty's defensive line, though, has really stepped it up. They've already had a negative yardage play. They had great pressure on the quarterback, and they were able to tip that pass. It was a great catch on the sideline, but now you're looking at 3rd and long.
Eggleston knocked him out of bounds. You see the numbers on Alex coming into this contest, what he has done, some of the wideouts. 5'10", 154. Not the biggest guy, but a big heart. Third down, they need just more than 10. Again, trips to the bottom from the gun. Hickey, the southpaw. Running out of time and real estate, it goes down.
Great.
It was kind of like a delayed tackle, if you will, by Ross Fleming.
Well, that's was a coverage sack. They were trying to get the ball down the field, and Liberty just blanketed the Gahanna Lion receivers, and Blake had nowhere to go. He tried to scramble out and was sacked, and big stop for Olentangy Liberty.
I hate when I get tackled by the towel. That's
a terrible towel.
It was terrible, wasn't it? Punting situation now for Gahanna Lincoln. You see the sack attack. You go with a triad back deep now on the punt attempt as well, too. Nailed by Ballinger, and fair catch called for and taken just past the 47-yard line on the play by number 3. That is Kyle Creedy. Creedy, by the way, on the campaign has a 66-yard punt return for a touchdown last week against Ironton. He returned kicks and punts last year, so pretty good field position for the Patriots to start the second half, Dale.
Well, this is what you want to have here now. We had a nice stop by the defense. You're only down by 6 points. You've got the ball just about at midfield. Let's see if Liberty's offense can get rolling here.
If you're just joining us, I'm Randy Reinhardt alongside Dale Carlson, the head coach from Ohio Dominican. Honored to have the top Panther aboard tonight, filling in for Jeff Logan here on week number 3 of the high school football game of the week. 1st and 10, just past the 47-yard line. Again, that pistol set for the Patriots. They've used that a lot in the first half and now in the early going here. And again, a flag.
The clock run down?
I didn't know if we had that or somebody leave early, perhaps. Our referee is Tom Stoughton. And he will get the football back, and he will come our way. And we had a movement. False start. Yep, I think it was one of the wideouts that left early.
It's one of those penalties that drives coaches nuts.
One of the wideouts.
Right guard. That was the right guard.
And the right guard, too. We had a wideout, though, that left at the top. You couldn't see it at the very top of formation, too, and one of the linemen. So he had 2 guys moving on the play. And we saw the signal from Tom Stoughton as to who it was that he picked up. So it'll be 1st down and 15 from back at the 42-yard line. And you can see the penalties so far in this contest, just the second one against the Patriots. Ryan's got time this time. Gunning it long downfield and tipped and nearly caught. Pass a little too strong that time for Kyle Creedy.
Creedy's a good athlete, but the ball was thrown just a little bit behind him, but he almost came up with it.
Dale, are they finding something across the middle? There's 2 places they've looked now. Across the middle, sometimes they've lengthened the pass pattern, and then down and out to the left side.
Well, I think what they have there is a little option, because they had the out route over on the sideline as well as they're flooding the strong side, the wide side of the field, and then McCready's just slipping right in between the safety and the other corner, and he's there.
It'll be 2nd down and 15 now from the 42-yard line. You see what Ryan has done so far, tossing the football. 25%.
Might have a blitz coming here.
They have plenty of guys coming, and Eggleston cannot get outside. Great pursuit defensively by the Lions to cut that one down, as making the hit was Jeff White. Boy, White's been on a handful of tackles already tonight.
Both safeties rolled down and were within about 5 or 6 yards of the line of scrimmage. That usually indicates you're going to get some pressure, and Lincoln blitzed right into the run.
He's got him by the shoes. Well, if you're Olentangy Liberty, what is working well for you offensively? What can you try against this Lion defense?
Well, they're trying to find something in here. Hopefully they can get some protection here and get the ball down the field and get a 1st down.
They need 22. And Eggleston's going to lose a couple more back to the 33-yard line. It almost makes your defense now your offense if you're the Patriots, because Gahanna Lincoln has just shut down this Olentangy Liberty offense. This is a team, folks, coming into this contest that outscored their opponents some 84-0, but they're the ones that are seeing the 0 on the scoreboard right now as you look at the vital stats on one Stu Smith.
Of course, they're stepping up here a little bit, too, playing Gahanna Lincoln, a little bit tougher opponent than they had in the first 2 weeks, and it's showing here as this close ball game.
Stewart, a member of the National Honor Society, and likes band and science. A punting situation now. Seifert. Fair catch called for by Williams, and lets it go. Nearly touched that puppy as it rolls inside the 25 down to around the 21-yard line, and that's where the Lions will start. All right, now, if you were the defensive coordinator for Olentangy Liberty, you're saying, guys, maybe you can help us out as a catalyst by making a big play. And Rob Griffiths and company has seen his defense play pretty solid ball, and Williams looked up and You think he had a problem with the lights?
Well, it's hard to tell. You like your punt returner to catch those, although they got a break in that the ball didn't hit and take a big roll and only lost about 4 yards when the ball hit the ground, rolled out of bounds.
Total yardage so far, just about half of what they average in a contest. Jeff Logan always says, on average, when you let the ball drop, you lose about 17 yards.
Well, you definitely want to catch all those punts. There's no question about that.
From the 21, 1st and 10. Second man through. We'll get it up from the 21 up to around the 23-yard line. Well, you question the durability of Darius Reeves. How does he do it? Play offense, defense, carry the ball so many times? And he's a solid person out there on both sides of the football and special teams as well, too. Well, remember, he's a kick returner as well.
He's just in tremendous shape. I know Coach Lyons and his staff do a great job in their off-season program and in their conditioning in the summer, and it's very evident here as on a warm, humid night, Darius is getting a lot of work tonight.
Shivner checks in with the play, and yes, we love you Patriots as well, too. We love the Lions as well. Thank you for the little free plug here on CSN and the free love. On the slant, Williams out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. This time, they get it by Creedy, and they make the catch for the first down.
Yeah, it was a nice on-time throw, and Williams was able to haul it in and pick up some extra yards after the catch.
Yeah, you just wonder if they're setting up something long, too, with Elliott Williams with the speed that he has, 6'1", 170. This is a guy that can burn. I've seen it on the baseball field as well, too. But both teams have gone across the middle. I wouldn't be surprised to see him fake it inside and just go long.
Yeah, hit that slant and go and try and get him up the sideline.
From the 42, high snap, but it goes directly to Reeves on this play. Look at this, up to the 47-yard line. Are we doing Dennison? Have we gone back to the single wingers? Frank Howe coming back to coach Northland High School.
Well, you know what? When you've got a talent like Darius Reeves in the backfield, you want to try and get him the ball any way you can. And by spreading the field out, hopefully they're trying to find some throwing or some running lanes in there for him. And he was able to pick up 7 yards on first down.
He is over the century mark now in this contest. Darius Reeves, as we said, they won a 1,000-yard rusher every season, and he's at 104 right now. And he's at 348 in 2.5 contests. Reeves gets a gain of only 1 as he fights hard for that one. A couple of guys helping to make the hit. Among them, number 57, and that's Brett Coffey. Again, Coffey's going to be near double digits when it comes to solos and assists on tackles already in this contest.
And Coffey is an excellent defensive player. Seems to always have a nose for the ball. He's always around it, and that's evident tonight as probably leading the team in tackles. This big down right here, 3rd and short. Total yards again, Gahanna Lincoln, 166 to 20. We'll see if Liberty can hold it a 0 or 1 on this play.
They need 2 for a first down. Shivner wide to the bottom, a wide out to the top. Reeves has 2, but I'm not sure if he's got enough. It's very near the sticks. Yep. See where they place it. It's going to be very near the sticks, maybe just a little shy. We'll see where they give him his forward progress. It's 6:25 and ticking here. And they're going to say it's shy.
4th down.
Not even going to measure. 4th down and inches. And now officials timeout. Maybe they're going to have a change of heart bringing the sticks.
Not sure if Coach Lanza asked him for a measurement on that or not, but looks like we're going to bring it in. It was hard. The official on our side here by the booth, Randy, it looked like it was short from where he was at, but I guess it only counts where the official on the other side spotted it.
In college ball, how often do you call for a measurement? Do you think if it's within a yard, you'll call for it, or what's your protocol?
Well, you really can ask them to do it, but it's up to the officials if they want to make a measurement. You really can't ask them to do that.
And you can see it's shy. On the play, 6:19 left to go. Let's see if they opt to go for it here on a 4th down and less than 1.
Let's see if they try and get him to jump off sides here, go with that real hard count, Randy.
The way their defense is playing, I don't think it matters. Big play as we do that. Here's the standings for the Capital, the Ohio Division. That's their overall records. League play has not started yet, but the Capital's been on fire. Only 1 loss. They keep it, and they have enough for the first down as Blake Hickey will take it across. But on that graphic that you saw momentarily on your screen, the OCC Capital, that's the division that Olentangy Liberty is in, they have been on fire. They only have 1 loss. They're 11-1 in the first 2 weeks. Take a look at that. Watkins Memorial lost last week. There you look at the Ohio division, and you can see that Westland has struggled early on. They lost a lot of players and their head coach. And Lincoln and Newark and Lancaster at 1-1, Groveport and Darby at 2-0. It's almost kind of reversed from what you've seen in prior seasons.
Yeah, it is, but there's some great teams in that Capital division this year.
They keep it on the ground, and Reeves inside the 40, down near the 35, and near the sticks again.
It's that direct snap then to Reeves, and he's finding some seams right up the middle on the Liberty defense.
This is where you wonder if that defense gets worn down a little bit by that Gahanna Lincoln offensive line, and the fact that Darius Reeves can take a pounding 30, 35, maybe 40 times a contest.
Well, when you've got a 16 to 7 minute time of possession advantage, as Gahanna did in the first half, I think Liberty could be getting worn down.
2nd and 1. I don't think so. Of course he's trying, but there's a late flag at the end of the play. 5:11 left to go. Was that the additional contact?
Unless it was a face mask.
On a night like this, humid and warm, although it's not 95, what did you do to prep your players before the contest?
Well, you know what you want to do is you want to make sure that they're hydrated, that they've had enough liquids, and really you talk to them about doing that in the middle of the week as well as just not only on game day. But really that's the biggest thing, is drink fluids, and hopefully they stayed off their feet after school today and ready to go.
Watch the left hand right there on the crossbar, if you will. Bananas, potassium, does that help?
Sure, you can do that. You want to eat fruit, you want to have bananas, but really water is the magic potion. If you drink enough water, you should be in good shape.
With the penalty, mark it down to the 32-yard line. Again, it is Reeves. Frank Howe is smiling right now. If you're wondering who Frank Howe was, folks, he was the guy that coached the single wing. Of course, Dennison made it so popular, but Frank Howe kept it alive and going in the City League with Northland High School long after it left many locales. And then when he went over to St. Charles as an offensive coordinator, he brought it back. I think Tom Varga was the head coach then. Then when he went over to Millersport and helped out with that program, he brought it back again.
And and it's very tough to defend when you can snap the ball to two different people in the backfield like that, and especially when you have Darius Reeves carrying the ball.
Crunch time, 2nd and short. Reeves, student body left. And whoa, he got nailed right around the 23-yard line. 3 helmets in there. I saw Ross Fleming getting his missile in there. This is a guy that started outside last year, and Fleming now playing inside. 2 years ago wore number 64. And this is a guy we mentioned has been offered by the Air Force Academy and places Rich Ribel plays inside. You also look at big number 42, Damian Capretta, helping to stop that up, the big nose guard. 3rd down conversions, Olentangy Liberty has not converted one, and Gahanna 2 of 7. And right now they need just less than 2. Again, they'll try to spread out the defense, Dale. It looks like with the 3 receivers to the bottom of the set.
Direct snap again
to Reeves. Inside the 23, inside the 22, and see where they mark the football if he's got enough of the first down with 3:34 left to go. It's still 6-0 Gahanna Lincoln on top. A couple of 25-yard field goals in the first half, and that's been the only scoring, and we may have our second measurement in this quarter. So they'll have the chains come out, 3:25 left to go. We'll take a break. 6-0 Gahanna Lincoln on top. This is CSN, and this is the high school football game of the week. And the sticks are out, and they measure, and it is a first down. Welcome back to Olentangy Liberty High School. Randy Reinhardt, Dale Carlson, and Gary Berry. Glad to have you aboard for the high school football game of the week. Stick around this week. Our other contest, Eastmore Academy at Grandview Heights. So it'll be a lot of fun. Steve Hale not having as much fun as he'd like to have. His team is down by 6, and he's seeing the opponent drive all the way down inside his team's 22-yard line. It's Reeves. Bounces off to the 21-yard line, and that is it. Not much of a hole there, but he tries to find what he can and get some positive yardage.
Again, we had the Liberty defensive line angling down to the inside, brought a little pressure off the edge, and they were able to hold Reeves only 1 yard gain.
An unsung hero, I think, in the backfield there is Moshe Losh, the fullback. 6 carries, 38 yards, had 2- and 5-yard touchdown runs against Mifflin, but so many times he is just steady and strong as that good lead blocker, Dale, and that's so important when you got a guy like Reeves that can take it off the left, the right, or up the middle.
Well, I'm sure Reeves appreciates not only all those offensive linemen, but that great fullback that's blocking in front of him.
This time he will check out. They'll go with 3 to the bottom and dump it out to Reeves. That is an incomplete pass. It was moving forward. Last week we saw that a number of times with Westerville South and Brent Carter in the open field. They would get that out to that guy who's listed as 5'8", probably goes 5'6", but look at the throw. He's at the 25, and the ball goes forward to about the 24.5.
Yeah, from my angle up here, I thought it might be a lateral. Of course, you'd like to see your team get on that ball. If that happens, you always coach them up to get on it till you hear that whistle blow. But that's not a bad play call. Again, try and get Reeves the ball out in space and let him do his thing in the open field. We really haven't seen him out in the open field for a chance at a big play yet.
Wideouts to either side. Shalosh back into the fullback. To the bottom of the set, that is Elliott Williams. He's on an island down here. Let's see if they go that route. Third down. They need just about 10, and we've got hankies flying before this play starts with 2:25 on the clock.
Got a false start again.
And what you're going to do now is, if you don't pick up any positive yardage here for Gahanna Lincoln, put them in an interesting scenario. If they cannot convert on third down, it would be a very long field goal. Maybe you contemplate going for it on fourth down.
Well, you know, you might hear, depending on how many yards you get here on the third down play.
Currently resting at the 26-yard line. The clock reads 2:25. Steve Hale looks on, as does Mike Lonza along the far side. The two head coaches waiting to find that opening. Gahanna looking for something here on a third and long. Hickey looking to his left. Gunning, throwing to the far corner of the end zone, and it is Elliott Williams making the catch. No, they say he didn't have the handle. Lost the ball. Thought he had it. In and out of his breadbasket it goes with 2:18 left to go. And boy, that was a great throw by Blake Hickey.
That was a great throw right to a perfect spot at that back pylon in the end zone. And unfortunately, Williams wasn't able to come up with it.
Ooh.
Wow.
Good toss.
Yeah, it was a great toss. You know, you like to get your receivers to catch that ball up at its highest point, and when they bring their hands down like that, you tend to lose sight of the ball as you try and watch it into your hands. You want to get those hands up a little bit higher, catch the ball at its highest point.
It is fourth down and long, and they're going to go for it. At least it looks like it. And now we've got whistles on the field with 2:18 left to go. Do they take too long?
I don't know if we had a defensive lineman. No, it was a delay game. You got the call there, Randy.
Delay of game will move it back 5 to 31. Let's go down to the sidelines now, and Gary Berry.
It's starting to come down here, guys. A little bit of rain. If you got the gloves on and it continues to rain like this, you got to take them off, because once that wetness gets on the gloves, they become slippery. So all your receivers, running backs, take the gloves off so you can get a feel for that ball.
Gary, protocol is for CSN, by the way, you stay down there no matter what.
Yes.
Okay. Rain,
sleet,
sleet, hail.
yeah.
You're like the postman. They gun it downfield and falling down, and they nearly made the catch anyway inside the 10-yard line. Trying to snare that was big number 5. That was Kevin Guthrie, listed as the tight end, but Olentangy Liberty will get it back now with 2:12 left to go. And Dale, despite the fact that Gahanna Lincoln was able to move the football, it's still a 6-point difference.
Olentangy Liberty's defense is just doing a tremendous job. I'll tell you what, though, for a big tight end getting down the field, that was pretty good movement right there. Just fortunately he slipped. I don't know if a little bit of wetness on the grass now caused him to lose his footing there.
Now Guthrie is a guy that had one catch for 16 yards coming into this contest. That was good for a touchdown. First and 10 from the 22. You can see the total yards. 20. They average over 300. Seipert wants to throw, pumps to throw, looks to throw, does throw, contact at midfield. A pair of 7s getting into it, and Coach Hale is really upset because he thought there was contact there between Ballinger and his wideout, Vanskoy, and no flag was tossed at the 50 with 2:05 left to go third quarter.
I don't know, unless the official didn't think the ball was in the air when the contact was made, but there was definitely some contact on the play.
Steve Hale tossing down his play sheet, if you will, so it'll be second down and 10. GB, what's going on down there?
They're setting him up with the out. They hit him with the out and up. I was talking with Coach Murad Holiday, defensive back coach. He said Brian Ballinger, number 7, plays the ball really well for being 6'3". He has great feet, great movement. Keep an eye on him.
Holiday's a guy we saw as a running back in, shall we say 15 years ago at Whitehall Yearling High School. What a great player he was.
Yep, 2,100 yards.
You got it,
a senior.
Here's Seipert. Will he option? He will keep. He ducks under 4 defenders across the 40. Ironically, Dale, his blockers were all still behind him, but he got up to the 45-yard line. Shades of Kyle Endicott there, picks up nearly 14 and a first down. Houdini lives.
Well, you know, that's the big plays that Ryan Seipert has made for this Olentangy Liberty team so far in the first 2 weeks of the season, and that's a big first down for Liberty. They needed to keep this drive alive.
And talk about over-pursuing defensively. That's what happened there, and he was able to cut it back 2 different times and find it all the way up at the 45 of the near hash, and they've got a first down. Approaching 90 seconds left to go third quarter. Patriots down to the Lions by 6. Again from that pistol set. Eggleston finds an opening. Look out, Eggleston with the speed. He could take it the distance. He's going to take it all the way 55 yards for the touchdown. And with all that It's now a tie game at 6. 1:28 left to go, third quarter.
You know, sometimes all you need is one big play to be made, and with the big first down conversion, or third down conversion on the play before, and then the ball gets handed off to Eggleston, and he hits the home run.
Maybe it's raining touchdowns. That's number 7 for Eggleston on the campaign on the ground. And a chance now out of the muddle huddle for Olentangy Liberty to take the lead with Todd Henderly to attempt the extra point. And this 7-up extra point attempt is brought to you by Walmart. Seipert to hold, the snap, the kick, plenty of leg, and just like that, the Patriots, boom, boom, they take the lead 7-6 in this contest.
Well, I know Coach Hale was looking to get the running game working a little bit, and he sure got it on that series.
Eggleston off the right side. There was one chance there around midfield, Dale, and after that, it's the afterburners.
Yeah, he's got great speed, and he was able just to run by the secondary and score a big touchdown here and put Liberty up by a point.
That man had touchdown runs of 6, 6, and 4 yards against Westerville North. That one is 55 yards against Ironton. 7 carries in limited time because they won that game 56-0. Had touchdowns of 4, 5, and 20 yards. He cuts well and has speed, and it could be showering touchdowns as we have our first 6-point score on the evening, and now it's 7-6. If you're Gahanna Lincoln and you're Mike Lonzo, I assume there's no panic right now along the far side.
No, you know, your offense has been moving the football, and I think you're probably going to get a heavy dose of Darius Reeves right now as they're going to try and take control of the game again.
1:28 left to go. Todd Henderly has it teed up. I wonder if he's related to Bill Henderly, the longtime football official in Central Ohio, who's gone over mechanics with me a couple of times. I saw him in the stands about 5 rows below us before this contest.
Could be a grandson.
Pooching along the ground.
That's a live ball.
And it's covered at the 20-yard line, so it's almost as good as a touchback. The element of surprise there. We'll have the ball at the 20-yard line for the Lions. 1:27 left to go. The fans along the near side getting rowdy. The Lion fans now a little more subdued. We'll see what the Gahanna Lincoln faithful can do. The Olentangy Liberty possessions, the first 6 netted 20 yards on the last time they had the ball. 69 yards in just 3 plays. And Eggleston taking it the last 55 for the touchdown.
Well, you know, they were able to get some blocking up front, Liberty was, and so now let's see if their defensive line can control the line of scrimmage and get the ball back.
Well, you're thinking Reeves. Let's see if that's the route they go and if the Patriots key on Darius. Hickey wants to
motion.
throw.
Yeah, motion penalty again.
Well, we've had probably double digits of those so far in this contest. 1:25 left to go as Tom Stoughton comes our way again to give us the signal. False start again on the offense. That's something sometimes you see early in the season. In your Week 1 victory, did you have any problems with penalties or turnovers?
No, we had no, we didn't. We had a couple of times we didn't get lined up right on offense, but we limited, you know, we limited those stupid penalties, as we call them, to just a couple.
A dozen penalties for 76 yards combined for the two teams here in this contest. Move it back to the 15, call it first and 15 from there. And then there was 1:25 left in the third. Again, they've got that trip set to the bottom. And it'll be Reeves up across the 20 to the 22, maybe the 23. Picks up the penalty and then a couple more yards as well.
And that's that direct snap again to Reeves with the quarterback leading for him. You know, Reeves is such a tremendous player, and you want to get the ball in his hands as many ways as you can.
Boy, the thing is, too, when you look at Gahanna Lincoln, Dale, they have shown us the ability to run the ball from a standard set, also from a single wing set. They can throw the ball long. They can throw it on the quick pop. So offensively, they've shown us everything. It's a matter of putting it all together. And right now, they're having to drive the length of the field.
And this is a big possession for them, too. They want to gain the momentum back.
Second down. They need 8. Hickey, guns on the slant. And guess who? Elliott Williams again, up to the 35, maybe the 37, push back from there.
That was an excellent catch by Williams. He got contacted right as the ball got there. He was able to pull it in, run through the arm tackle, and get the first down.
EW likes math, baseball, movies, music, his friends, and making catches like this, but probably not hits like this.
Well, you know, that's all part of the game, but you know, when you're gonna come over the middle, you're gonna get hit. So you might as well make the play and pick up some yards and come back and line up and do it again.
That's what he's done so far in this contest. Tyler Eaton heating up, making the hit on that play. 1st and 10 now. Just past the 37. Reeves. It almost almost looked like he was going to hand it off to his quarterback, Hickey, as he turned the corner out across the 45-yard line.
Well, I'm sure Darius isn't about to hand that football off. He wants to take it and pick up the yards. You know, and it's interesting now with this spread set that Lincoln is running. It's forcing Liberty to get out of that 8-man front and spread the defense out a little bit more. Now he's starting to find some running lanes.
And a flag and a penalty going against Gahanna Lincoln. So Tom Stoughton marking something down on his card with just a few seconds left to go in this third stanza. I think it's maybe a sideline warning, isn't it?
Yeah, they just called sideline warning.
No, it's helping runner on the offense. Remember what I talked about with Hickey?
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
All right, this is only the second time in 24 years I've ever seen helping runner called. The time you normally see it called is down by the goal line where you try to push the back in, like if you're Matt Leinart.
I have Matt Leinart at Notre Dame a few years ago, but
I don't know about that. It looked like he was looking for a handoff or to take the ball away from him.
I think he's just trying to get a block and he fell into it.
So mark it back to the 37-yard line. Mike Lonzo's going to be perplexed about that. With all of that being said, though, it's a 1st and 10 from there, and that's the end of the quarter. It was 1.6 on the clock. There's zeros on the clock. They have not looked at the clock. Our referee has not looked. Tom Stoughton now sees that there's no time left. 36 minutes have evaporated on this clock, but Tom Stoughton, let's wait a second. He wants to talk for a second. Now he's going to keep both teams off the field. I think he's going to say that we're going to play one more play here. The clock should stay at 1.6.
Well, I think Reeves was out of bounds on the run play, so the clock should have stopped. They shouldn't have started it.
You can start the play clock in the head of the officials, if you will, but the game clock cannot start. So in theory, there's 1.6 left, although the clock reads 0 right now. Reeves on the direct snap again, and forget it. Check, please. He is nailed on the play by Ross Fleming. Fleming with the hit. That'll end the third quarter. No flags. After 3, the Patriots back on top. It is 7-6. Week number 3. We've had a lot of fun, and still 12 minutes left to go on CSN. Welcome back to Olentangy Liberty High School. The Patriots with that touchdown and the all-important extra point leading by 1. 7-6 as we go to the final 12 minutes of regulation. Randy Reinhardt, Dale Carlson, Gary Berry, statistician Steve Bassford. So glad to have you here on CSN. 2 games every week. It's week number 3 of the high school football season. Glad to have you aboard. Big play to start the fourth quarter for the Lions. 2nd down and long. They need about a dozen. Hickey has time, now rolls, looks, dances, and has a nice gain. And boy, he can take a pounding out across the 45 to the 46. Daly could have been sacked. Instead, it's going to be a 3rd down and 1.
You know, that was great anticipation by Hickey there. And, you know, we always talk to our quarterbacks about when you get pressure, get to the line of scrimmage, get positive yards, and Hickey was able to put him in a 3rd and short.
Solid contact there, but hats off to the offensive line of Alex Friend, Ryan Miller, John Beatty, Josh McCaskey, and Seamus Garvey. 3rd down and 1. Reeves has it, and more. 45. Darius lost the ball. It pops up. And I think the Patriots may have it at the 37. We'll see. It pops straight up in the air at around the 39-yard line. A Patriot was closest to the football. And he does have it. The guy that I saw picked it up is number 18, Chris Berridge, coming up from the secondary to make the play. A strong safety, right place, right time. His dad played ball at Ohio Northern. Look at this one more time. There's the pop.
Yep, Reeves had the ball out away from his body. He wasn't protecting the football, and the hit was able to knock it out. And Liberty's got the ball, and again, that's got that momentum.
Jason Kissel with the hit. So now it's 1st and 10 from the 37. You talked about the confidence of Olentangy Liberty, but Dale, how much consistency have they really developed on offense?
Well, you know, they haven't had a lot of consistency, but we'll see here again. You know, they've got some confidence. Hopefully they can get something going again.
See, Gahanna Lincoln has done that most of the night. Eggleston danced right, then left, and then the dance was over as he was stopped right around the 35-yard line. He'll lose a couple on the play. Good play by that defense up front for Gahanna Lincoln. As you look at some of the big guys, Joe Wills up there, big number 93. You see his vital stats, a guy that likes breakdancing, snowboarding, cars, and robotics.
Well, Lincoln's doing a great job. Their defensive linemen are keeping their pad level low. They're getting their hands inside and driving the Liberty offensive linemen back. They're really controlling that line of scrimmage.
This Gahanna Lincoln defense gives up 3.3 yards on average per rush, 87 yards per game. Last year in the takeaway giveaway, they were +7. Pops it out into the flat to Eggleston, out across the 40 in open field. And, you know, we talk about that, getting the ball in space, Dale, so many times. When I talked about Brent Carter last week from Westerville South, that's exactly what they did there with Alex Eggleston.
Right, just a little swing pass out into the flat, and Eggleston was able to make a defender miss and end up with a first down.
I should say Alan Eggleston. I'm living in the past. Alex Eggleston played for Walnut Ridge back in 1991. As Alan comes our way and says, I am going to be on and in CSN. So Eggleston with a big gainer down to the 48. Interesting to check with Steve Bassford to see if he rules that rushing yardage or passing yardage. He's going to say that was a pass. It was moving forward. So passing yardage is where it goes. 1st and 10 from the 48. Cyprian guns it, has Creedy at the 30, and whipped down there, and they'll throw the flag because of the high tackle as well on the play, as the hit was made by Alex McGinniger, and he will be flagged with 10:15 left to go.
Yeah, it might be a face mask again after the tackle.
And there's the call from our referee, Tom Stout. And march it down another 15.
I think it's just the 5-yard variety. I think it's just a 5-yard variety.
25. Take a look at the left paw as it reaches around and grabs as Alex goes over the top. It's a takedown. So from the 25. And Olentangy has been able to continue that burst on this drive.
See if we get blitz here from Lincoln.
Eggleston brought down right at the line of scrimmage. Good job by the defense to stretch out. I tell you, one guy that hustled to the ball was big number 7 you see on your screen. I had Bellinger. You know, sometimes when you think about a guy that's a kicker, you don't think about a guy that plays on offense and defense, but this is a guy that can do it all when you talk about big number 7 on your screen for Gahanna Lincoln. Here's a guy in Ryan that can play in the secondary. He's also one of the quarterbacks, too. He can punt, he can kick off, he can kick field goals.
He's just an all-around good athlete.
A lot like you in your playing days.
Yeah, you never saw me play. I wasn't very good.
All great coaches are bad athletes. Is that true?
I don't know if that's true, but I was one.
2nd out of 10 from the 25. Cyprian running out of time, and look at the dance.
You know, Cypress just a playmaker. He really had nothing there. By all rights, should have been sacked for a 4-yard loss, and turns it into a 4-yard gain and puts him in a manageable 3rd down here, 3rd and 6.
And I mentioned Kyle Endicott again from the past, what he did here, and the way he was so shifty, what a great performer he was. And Cyprian in so many ways reminds me of him. I guess the question is, this guy's a great baseball player. He started since he was a freshman. His dad, of course, is the assistant head coach to Bob Todd at Ohio State. Does he play football? Does he play baseball?
Well, he's probably going to have some options when it gets down to that point, and I'm sure whichever way he decides to go is going to be the best for him.
See his numbers so far in the evening. Big 3rd down play here for both sides. Puts it up for grabs for Van Scoy and pulls it in inside the 2. Boy, a great adjustment over the shoulder by big number 7 to make the catch. It is 1st and goal Patriots with 8:22 left to go. And that is what we were talking about with Van Scoy when Coach Hale said he gets the ball. He makes the adjustment. Look at the hands and look at the way he nearly lost the handle but snared it and pulled it in.
Well, you know, as a wide receiver, when you throw that fade route down there, you don't want to be too close to the sideline. You want to give the quarterback plenty of room to drop the ball in there. And that's exactly what he did. It was a good throw away from the defender, and now it's big 1st and goal.
Inside the 2. Numbers on Trevor so far. Cyprian calls his own number and just bulls his way in for the touchdown. 7:59 left to go, and then it was 13-6.
You know, I think they went up on a little bit of quick count and caught Lincoln sitting back on their heels and were able to knock him off the ball and get the 1st down, or get the touchdown.
So now it's a 7-point cushion, and still, if Gahanna Lincoln can score and perhaps come up with that 2-point conversion, they're right in this game again. And you are in the secondary. That is hard to stop, as Dale mentioned. They went on a quick snap, and by the time they got to the line, there was nothing they could do. This 7-up extra point attempt is brought to you by Walmart. The snap, the kick, plenty of leg. It is up, and it is good. Done by Todd Heatherly. And it is now 14-6, 7:59 left to go. But if you're Gahanna Lincoln, still plenty of time left to come back.
As you can see right there, Liberty got up to the line of scrimmage, took the snap, and in the end zone for a touchdown.
So congratulations to Zeb Schroeder, the offensive coordinator, and that guy, Ryan Seifert, who will get his 5th touchdown on the ground this season. That drive just took more than 3 minutes and 7 plays and went more than 60 yards for the touchdown to give them that 8-point cushion. We'll see what they have to do now. If you're Gahanna Lincoln, what has been working well recently? You threw that slant to Williams. You've been able to get some running plays with Reeves, but consistently now, it seems like the Patriots are forcing Gahanna Lincoln to go 70 or 80 yards.
Well, it'll be interesting to see now if Lincoln goes back into more traditional 2 or into that 3-back set and just gives the ball to Reeves and just tries to run some power football now here and get down the field, maybe run the clock and put themselves in position to tie the ball game up.
Is there a chance that Gahanna Lincoln could play back-to-back overtime contests? They lost by 3 last week. Again, they pooch it along the ground. It's scooped up across the 35 out to the 40-yard line. On the return is Jonathan Shivner. Shivner, one of the hands people, a wide out with a nice return. And Gahanna will have 60 yards to cover with 7:54 left to go here in regulation.
You know, there's a good heads-up play. He didn't let the ball get by him. He was able to give Lincoln some good field position here at the 40-yard line. You know, I think it's interesting now, Liberty's come to life here in the second half. Only 27 total yards in the first half and 119 now in the second half. And, you know, that has put them right in the lead here.
Watch the matchup to the bottom of the screen, Dale. It is Williams and Creedy going mano-a-mano. Hickey, though, looking the other way, dumping, pass complete, and he caught it on his knee. So it's complete for a gain of about 5 on the play as it goes to number 23 on the play. That is K.C. Sparks, as Sparks will make the catch. But with that knee down in high school football, you are immediately down. Would you like to see that rule changed?
You know, I think that it's there to try and prevent injuries and make sure that, you know, sometimes you see in the NFL somebody goes down and they're trying to get back up and then they get a big shot. I think that's probably a good rule for high school and college football. 2nd
down and 5. Halfway home for Gahanna Lincoln from the 45. 7:20 and ticking. You see time upper right. Hickey thought about the dump at the flat, goes the other way. Instead, the pass complete inside the 45-yard line. Another nice gain on the play, as this time it goes to Lineker. And that's the thing, when you think about it, Dale, in this contest, Gahanna's been able to run the ball at times, 2-back sets, split backs, single wing, and also they've been able to throw the ball as well. Yet they only have 6 points.
And that's true. You know, they haven't made their conversions when they needed to inside the 10-yard line, but it looks like their offensive line has now given great protection to Hickey, and he's been able to hit a couple of pass plays here.
It's up to the D now, the Patriots, to shut him down. Hickey from the gun, looking, pumping, rolling. Sending his man downfield, he's open, and he's got it inside the 10, inside the 5. A great job, a great adjustment by Alex Lineker to see that Hickey was going to roll and buy some time, and then he went downfield. The DB stayed closer to home, and they get the big gainer on the play.
Well, you know, you work on that all the time in practice. You call it the scramble drill, and when Hickey broke the pocket, his receiver did a great job and took off down the field and came up with a big play.
36 yards on the game. 1st and goal from the 5. You can see what Alex has done with that big pitch and catch there. Is it Reeves time? You bet the house it is. Finds a seam inside the 5. Does he break the plane? Yes, touchdown. 6:42 left to go. There's a lot of time left. You're down by 2. If you're the Lions, do you go for 2?
Well, you know, that's an interesting call, but
you're the coach.
Say right now I'd kick the point and I'd play defense.
Wow.
Great block by Mo Salash, the fullback on that, to spring Reeves for the touchdown.
Mentioned Mo Salash, who's been an unsung hero throughout most of the season. The fullbacks, it seems, always are in football nowadays. They're predominantly a blocking back. Now, with the muddle huddle, you can run a 2-point set, remember. Let's see what they have to do, and that's what they're going to do. Williams is the backup quarterback. He has the angle. Can he get in? Yes! 2-point conversion. Elliott Williams out of the muddle huddle gets the 2-pointer, and it's a brand new game at 14. There's a flag, I believe, after the play is over. It could be because of emotion on either side, but I think the flag came down as a dead ball penalty after that 2-point conversion.
Yeah, it might be a late hit out of bounds on Williams. They're sitting there talking it over. Well, you know what, to tell you the truth, that's a pretty good call. The reason I would have kicked the point is we don't run the muddle huddle like that.
Well, of course not. We have a dead ball. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Point is good, so it has to be. and force down here. 6:42 left to go. It is tied at 14. Could it be back-to-back overtime games for the Lions? We'll find out. This is CSN Local Sports Now. Elliott Williams takes it in for the two-point conversion. It's interesting that Jeff Logan is not here tonight because he hates the muddle huddle with a passion. He thinks it takes away from practice time. Jeff, I know you're watching the replay, buddy. Look what happened here. It tied the game.
Well, you know, this is a great play by Williams. This was a run-pass option, and I think he just saw the corner and used his speed to get there and did a nice job breaking that arm tackle to get that two-point conversion.
Now, the penalty was on Gahanna Lincoln, so they're going to have to kick off from the 25-yard line because of the celebration. There's the drive. Let's go down to the sidelines now and Gary Berry. Gary?
Again, we used to work on that muddle huddle every day.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah, it was great. We got a lot of teams on it. They don't expect it because they don't practice it. They think they're just going to come back to the middle and kick the ball. And you saw right there, you can get them with the option or the bootleg.
So the penalty was on the offense after the two-point try, and they're going to pooch it along the ground. Wow, and they get a fair bounce, and finally scooped up by Alan Eggleston across the 35 up to the 40, the 41. That's kind of a weird time to do the
Well, you know what,
I
think he was trying to onside kick it and try and make a big play right there. That's sure what is what it looked like from the angle of the kick and the bounce, and it just bounced too far down the field.
If you have a seatbelt on your chair at home, strap it on. We are tied at 14, 6:37 left to go. Coach Hale and company and Zeb Schroeder talking to Ryan Seifert. He gets the word and brings it in to the huddle.
Well, Seifert's been the man here the last couple of drives. Let's see if he can engineer something else here for Olentangy Liberty.
And Van Scoy and Creedy and also Eggleston, too, with some big plays. Let's see if they share the wealth here. Seifert looking, gunning. The pass is incomplete at the 50-yard line along the far side of the field, looking for Dustin Welch, his wideout.
Just a little play fake there again. They've thrown that combination where they have that little flood going into the towards the sideline, and then that post route coming off the backside. He tried to go the sideline route that time.
6:33 left, tied at 14, second down and 10. What are you looking for here, Dale?
Well, you know, it might be another opportunity to try and get the ball down the field on that fade route. You know, they've had a couple of times they've been able to just run right by those corners, and I think because a guy like Reeves is playing both ways, he might be a little bit tired. Maybe you go and attack him.
From the 42, two to the top, one to the bottom, and we've got a hanky. With 6:33 left to go. This may be a delay of game. Seemed like it took a long time. Yep. So move it back 5. You know, hats off, though, to the offensive line for Olentangy Liberty here in the second half. The likes of Fleming and Ta'ale and Era and Kennedy and Coffey and Baker and Shirey and Koskowski and Hilty and McKaylee all seeing time in the offensive line.
Yeah, they've come back here in the second half and have been able to move the football and allow their team to get points on the board.
Seifert rolling, gunning, tough pass, complete! Creedy inside the 47 at the 46-yard line, and Dale, you can attest to how difficult it is to execute that play.
Well, you know, you want to run that bootleg, and when you get that quarterback out there on the run, it can be a tough throw, especially when he's got pressure coming right in his face. And that was an excellent throw, an excellent catch.
In essence, doesn't he have to just drop that ball over the defender too, like he did there? I mean, it's got so much touch on it.
He put it right in the right spot where either his player was going to get it or it was going to go on the ground.
Pick up 12. Cree's got 50 now in receptions. 1st and 10 from the 46 on the short side. Eggleston inside the 40 to the 39. A huge gain on first down. Picks up nearly 7. And the clock ticking away. 6:17 left to go. We are tied at 14. So glad to have you here on Columbus Sports Network. Week number 3 of the high school football game of the week. Every contest we've had has been a nail-biter. And this contest, no exception here, as we're tied up halfway through the fourth quarter. Randy Reinhardt alongside Dale Carlson, the head coach from Ohio Dominican, and Gary Berry roaming the sidelines. Dale, it looks like it stopped raining, too.
Yes, it did.
Gary thinks that counts as his weekly shower, by the way. He's like the Three Stooges, you know? Second down. Seifert looking, pumping. Going long, downfield for Van Scoy in the corner and out of real estate. really geometry working against him there with Ballinger on the coverage, but Dale, that's a tough pass to execute because you've got a very slim margin there to complete that pass inside the 5-yard line.
Yeah, and again, in the touchdown throw earlier, there was a little bit more room between the sideline and the receiver so that he could just drop the ball in there. But I think off the scramble, Ballinger was able to push the receiver a little bit more towards the sideline and just had to throw it out of bounds.
Well, hats off to Ryan Ballinger, huh? You look at Ballinger and Creedy and some of these guys play on both sides. Third down conversions. Olentangy Liberty just hovering over 14% on the evening. They need 4. The dump, the pass, selling out Van Scoy to make the catch inside the 35. That's the kind of catch that you make to say, you know what, I'm going to get the catch and get the first down and look for more yardage on the next play.
Again, talking about selling out, going up for the ball, is a little bit to his outside. He was able to get his hands on, cradle it in, bring it into his body, and keep the possession when he hit the ground.
Well, Dale, I think you can touch on the transformation of high school offenses from what we've seen 10, 15 years ago. And so many teams now in Central Ohio seem to have that good run-pass mix.
Well, you really want to try and keep a defense off balance. If you can mix up the run and the pass, it allows you to do a lot of different things with your offense and hopefully put some points on the board.
Allen's got it. Eggleston dances, gets to maybe the 32, stays in bounds, and that is it. 5:05 and ticking here in the fourth quarter, still knotted at 14 apiece. Gahanna 1-1, Olentangy Liberty 2-0 on the season. Gahanna Lincoln in the OCC Ohio. And when you look at Olentangy Liberty, they play in the OCC Capital.
The clock might start to become a factor here, Randy. We're under 5 minutes, game tied. If Olentangy can drive this football out here and get a score and not give Lincoln a lot of time left, that might put them into 3-0.
The scoreboard says neither team has a timeout left, but in essence, it's wrong. Each team still has their full allotment of 3 timeouts left on second down. Cypriot rolling, gunning, and trying to lead Creedy, and getting a hand in there to knock it away. On the play was Alex McGinniger. The fans here on the near side thought maybe there was pass interference. Let's go down to the sidelines. Gary Berry, GB.
It's cleared up now. The rain has stopped. You can put the gloves back on. They're not going to be a factor with catching the ball. Back to you, Randy.
Gary, what's the footing like? Was the rain enough to make the field slippery, or is it still okay?
It's still fine. I know the parents here at Olentangy Liberty were lobbying to get the new field turf, but it seems fine to me. Just wear the screw-in cleats. We all had to deal with it before the field turf came about. I think they're fine. You
walked uphill to school every day, too, didn't you? 4 miles, right? Here we go. Cypriot dumps in the flat. Eggleston has it and gets nothing. Great pursuit defensively, but there was a flag tossed in at the 37. Was that on the tackle again?
It's hard to tell. There was a Liberty blocker out there. It might be a hold.
Number 59, Victor Hamper.
And Mr. Stout comes our way and says, block in the back.
That was close.
Your intent was correct. So now...
Well, now you're going to end up in a third and a very, very long. So, you're going to be in a position probably to play some field position
Are you,
here.
or do you decline it? Make it 4th down.
Well, I guess they're going to decline it. There you go. Decline, make it 4th down.
And now if you're Olentangy Liberty, you try to just kind of kick a soft punt here, go for the corner. And Cypriot will stay on to boot it. Well, originally, we did not have him as the starting punter, but he's been doing most of the punting here tonight. As you mentioned, he's got that rugby-style kick. If you come from the right, it looks like, or to his right at least, you'd have a chance maybe to get a piece of that if you get a good rush on. Let's see what he does here. Going to aim for the corner. Alex has got it inside the 10. Ginniger gets out across the 20, and a nice return on the short side of the field. Up to around the 23-yard line. Gahanna Lincoln will have the ball. 3:49 left to go, tied at 14.
Well, they've got a long ways to go, but they were able to hit a big pass play in their last drive, so let's see if they can maybe find one of those big plays again.
Elliott Williams has been a spark here as of late with that nice run for 2 points, and then Ginniger with a nice 36-yard reception as well to set that up for the touchdown run by Darius Reeves. Williams to the bottom, 3 to the top, 1 back in the backfield. Will it be the direct snap or will it go to Hickey? Hickey's got it on a first down play. Dumps underneath. The pass is at the 29-yard line. They rule it complete right there.
Again, just sitting down in the soft spot of the zone, taking what the defense gives you, put yourself in 2nd and 5.
Casey Sparks with the catch. Second time he's run that exact same route. It is 2nd down, and Just more than 4. 3:25 left to go. Tied at 14. Each team with 3 timeouts left. Blake Hickey, good percentage there. 9 of 13, 140 yards. Reeves, look out, has the first down. Darius Reeves to midfield. Darius Reeves all the way down to the 45-yard line, and perhaps saving a touchdown was Kyle Greedy.
You know, Kyle Greedy's been making some big plays for Liberty, and that could be the biggest play he's made all night if they can keep Lincoln out of the end zone here, because that sure looked like Reeves was gone.
It's a battle of threes. Seen a battle of sevens a number of times tonight, and now it's a battle of threes and a long gain all the way down to the 45-yard line after that 26-yard gain. And it'll be 1st and 10. 2:50 and ticking in regulation. Each team still with 3 timeouts left. Reeves to the right, has the seam. Darius Reeves has another first down inside the 35 to the 33. Dale, are they doing anything different?
No, you know, it's just they're running that little toss sweep. The Lincoln offensive line is starting to take the game over, and Reeves is starting to find those creases, and if they keep opening up holes like that, he's going to be in the end zone soon.
And if you're Gahanna Lincoln, do you love this pace right now, looking at the clock?
Oh, definitely. You know, you don't want to give Liberty the ball back with too much time, and now you've got a running back that's going to look to go over 200 yards here sometime very soon.
If he gets 4 more yards, he'll be there. He's got a chance. Not on this play. Great pursuit defensively as they knock that one down after a short gain. You see big number 62, the first to penetrate in there, Logan Ta'ale, to make the hit on the play. This is a guy that was a bit of a question mark coming on, and look at the blood on his right arm. He's going to have to check out of this contest. If they see that blood, they will force him to leave the game for at least 1 play. You cannot have that going on in high school athletics. That's the rule of thumb, but if the officials don't see it, he's going to stay out there.
I'm surprised they haven't picked that up yet. I mean, he's bleeding pretty good. Somebody's got something here.
1:49 left to go, and a timeout is taken. There's a Gahanna Lincoln player that's bending over at the 37-yard line. Steve Hale's asking, did they take a timeout? Perhaps it's an equipment problem. They're working on the helmet right there. And it's not an official's timeout. It is a brief one, I should say, and not a timeout by Gahanna Lincoln. So the Water Boys have to come off the field as they repair the helmet, and back to the line of scrimmage they go. John Beatty, I think, or Tony Travada, one of the two working on their helmet out there. Hickey rolling and brought down back at the 40-yard line. Big hit made on the play by number 53, Ross Fleming.
You know, that's why Ross Fleming is a Division I recruit. He's made a big play right here with the game on the line, and dropped Hickey for the sack.
Comes through almost uncontested, so now it's back at the 40-yard line. You need almost 17 yards for the first down. There is 1 minute left to go in the game. Each team with 3 timeouts left. Trips to the bottom, a wide out to the top. Hickey from the mini gun, lost the handle. Looks, goes long downfield and overthrows everybody. Inside the 5-yard line. 46.8 left to go. I assume you punt it here for Gahanna Lincoln and play for overtime?
Oh, definitely. In this point, you're going to try and pin Liberty back so that they don't get an opportunity to just throw one up over your head and put yourselves in that overtime situation.
And again, if we go to overtime, there'll be about a 3-minute break on the field. We'll have a coin toss, and then we'll have the ball, each team with a possession at the 20-yard line. Team A gets it, then Team B. If we're tied after one series of possessions, we'll go to a second series, which is called a second overtime. And we'll keep going as long as we have to until Dale has curfew.
Only the players have curfew. I'm good.
Do you put on a punt block here?
You know, in this situation, probably not. You don't want to rough the punter and give them an opportunity to get the football.
I think they took too long simply because of trying to contemplate all the various options here in this 4th down play. Also, it gives you more yardage to deal with if you move it back 5 and you put it at the 45, so not a bad situation for Gahanna Lincoln. Olentangy Liberty fans may cheer, but I don't think it benefits either team that much, and if it does anybody, it's probably the Lions.
Probably Lions get a little bit more room to try and kick the ball down in the corner.
Mike Lanza and Steve Hale. What a coaching performance by these two guys here in this contest tonight. Week number 3, as it's a punting situation for Ryan Ballinger, standing back at his own 42. This is where you pray for the good snap. If you're the Lions, if you're the Patriots, you don't. Perfect snap. There's the kick. It is high. It is a hanger. And the fair catch is taken by Creedy at around the 13-yard line. 40.4 left to go in regulation. Now, it's deep in your own territory. If you're the Patriots, do you do anything exotic here?
I mean, if it's me, I'm playing for overtime, but I'm not coaching tonight. My turn comes tomorrow.
And why do you play for overtime?
Well, in this situation right here, you've got 82 yards to go. It's a long ways. You only have 40 seconds. I think in this situation, play for overtime. You've pretty much dominated the second half, except for the one drive. Your kids should have a lot of confidence. I'd get in there and try and play on the short field. And here's the other thing too: is Liberty has done a great job when Lincoln has had the ball inside the 20-yard line. They've pretty much shut him back.
Alan Eggleston, voted by our crew as the CSN Player of the Game from Olentangy Liberty. We do this during regulation. It could change for overtime, but see what Alan has done so far in his contest. So he gets the nod as the Player of the Game from Olentangy Liberty, and congratulations from CSN as he took it 55 yards on that run for a touchdown. And what a job by that young man in this contest. But I will tell you what, we don't know who the players of the game are. We'll find out probably in overtime.
Probably.
On the other side, in regulation, the nod goes to Darius Reeves as the Player of the Game from Gahanna Lincoln High School, as he has been outstanding, approaching 200 yards rushing. He has been an Iron Man, 197 yards, 38 carries, and a touchdown. And he gets the nod for the Player of the Game. He should get like the Whirlpool Player of the Game,
Well, for tonight's performance,
or the masseuse
sure.
Player of the Game.
Now, he'll need one after the game tonight for all those carries.
40.4 left to go. This is where you hold it with 3 arms.
Yeah, you don't want to give up a fumble in this situation, that's for sure.
I think Gahanna Lincoln burned the timeout, Dale, because I think Mike Alonso was explaining all the scenarios to his team, what to watch for, what they may do, and I think he was more teacher right there than he actually was coach, saying, this is what you should look for, this is what's probably going to happen, and don't panic.
Yeah, probably when he wanted to make sure that his prevent defense was set. Everybody knew what they were supposed to do, because you want them to keep the ball in front of them and not give up that big play.
We're under 10 seconds left to go, and Olentangy Liberty showing no signs of wanting to run one more play. And for the second consecutive week, I said it 10 minutes ago, it could happen. Gahanna Lincoln is going to play a little extra football. Tied at 14 at the end of regulation. This is bonus coverage here on CSN. We are headed to overtime between Olentangy Liberty and Gahanna Lincoln. Randy Reinhardt, Dale Carlson, Gary Berry. Glad to have you aboard. Tom Stoughton, our referee out there, showing the coin to Gahanna Lincoln, explaining heads and tails. Let's listen in.
We'll do it again if I drop it. Ready? Heads is the call. It is a tail. Blue, you've won the toss. Your choice is to play offense, defense, or pick the end of the field and play the overtime.
Defense.
You'd like to play defense. Very good. Which end of the field do you want to play the overtime in?
We'll go this way. We want to go that way.
Okay, you want to go that way. Okay, fellas, the other thing is each team will get an opportunity with an offensive series. If we have a turnover, the ball is immediately dead. It cannot be returned, okay? Any questions? Okay, guys, I need blue over here. I need white over here. Get the call to the
All right, Dale, there's the explanation. That was perfect by Tom Stoughton. But let's talk coaching strategy. What do you want to do as a coach in an overtime session?
Well, I would do exactly what Coach Hale did. You want to play defense first. That way you know when you get the ball on offense what you need to do. Do we need to score a touchdown? Do we just need to kick a field goal? How's that going to work out? So I'm with Coach Hale here. I'd play defense first in overtime.
All right, so that's the scenario. Gahanna Lincoln will have it first, and that way, as Dale mentioned, you know what you have to do. The problem is then there's pressure of what you actually have to do. The coin toss, you can see the options. Offense will start 1st and 10 for the 20. And again, the other team will get their opportunity. And if we're still tied after each team has a possession, we go to a second overtime. You also heard, too, that if there's a turnover, Dale, during the possession, it ends the possession right there and then.
Yeah, it's unlike the college rule where you can actually run it back for a touchdown.
So they've got the ball at the 25-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 from there. See what Gahanna Lincoln can do on offense. It's now the college game and high school game are mirroring it. Now they're going to move it up to the 20. Thank you very much. College, it's 25. High school, it's 20, boys. I was frightened there for a second. I thought I missed a rule amendment this season. There was only one rule change, and that was dead ball fouls. Everything else was more equipment than anything else. And they're now giving the rule to the stick gang. Again, college football has it from the 25. High school has it from the 20. 1st and 10 from there. With Hickey at quarterback. And again, there's no time on the clock. It's where football mirrors baseball. Reeves inside. Spins, not down yet, but he might as well be. Knocked back to the 22. I'm not sure with that second effort if they'll lose a yard or if they'll give him his forward progress back to the 20-yard line. See number 42 helping to make the hit, Damian Capretta.
It's like they're going to mark him back at the 20, but that's again, Liberty has been playing great defense here, and they come up big on 1st down. Now you really put the pressure 2nd and long right squarely on Gahanna Lincoln's shoulders.
From the 20-yard line. Trips to the bottom, one wide out to the top. Did they go that way? Hickey pumping, rolling, trying to buy time, ad-libbing again, dumping underneath, and did Williams catch that ball at the 15? Wow, great job by Elliott Williams coming back and then turning back towards the goal line to make the catch and get it inside the 15.
Again, really, that was tremendous coverage by the Liberty secondary, and Williams was just able to help his quarterback out in a scramble, slide into an open spot, and put him in a 3rd and medium situation here, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5.
I'll tell you what, you look at the numbers on Elliott Williams. Also, it makes you think a lot more about 4th down because you know you have to do something productive. Do you sit back and say, I have to take some points, or do you say, I think they're going to score a touchdown, so I have to go for it? First, though, it's 3rd down. Reeves, can he find the seam? Yes, he can. Inside the 10, down to the 5. 1st and goal, Gahanna Lincoln, as they will move the chains and have a 1st and goal, and they keep this mini drive alive.
Well, again, the ball's in Darius Reeves' hands, but again, you've got great blocking by the offensive line, and where's our fullback again? Made a great block.
Over 200 now, 207 yards on 49 carries. That may be the most I've heard of. Bo Delandy, I think, had 47 or 48 in a state championship contest for Hilliard-Davidson. Reeves from the 5 has a seam. Darius Reeves accelerates, and the burst takes him into the pay dirt for the score. It's 2014 Lions with the extra point attempt to follow. That's the 3rd consecutive week now where we have had a 200-yard rusher, and ironically, it's the first time it's been a running back. In week 1, it was Jeremy Ebert, the quarterback at Hilliard-Darby. Last week, it was Cortez Fleming, the quarterback at Westerville South, and now it's Darius Reeves who gets the touchdown to make it 20-14. And this 7-up extra point attempt is brought to you by Walmart. Stewart with the kick. It is up, and it is good. All right, if you're Olentangy Liberty, it's on the table. You know what you need to get, Dale.
Well, you got to score a touchdown now, and you're going to have all 4 downs to work with. Again, here's the toss sweep. Great job up front. Good kick-out block by the fullback, and Reeves goes basically in untouched.
And with all the plays they have run tonight and the things they did to make it a little more wide open, they went back to the basic plays on this drive, and they were successful.
Well, when you're in an overtime situation and you have to score, you're going to go with your bread and butter, and that's Darius Reeves on the toss.
All right, if you're Olentangy Liberty, what are you going to try to do now? You need that touchdown and that extra point. What mix are you looking for here?
Well, I think they're going to try and work a little bit of play action here maybe on 1st down. They've had some success with that and try and get a big play right away.
2 to the top, 1 to the bottom. That's Van Scoy. And a whistle. And now we reset. I don't think the ball was ever set for play. Now it is. Gahanna Lincoln kind of hustled in late there for the start of the play. Cypriot in the corner, and there's a flag. At the goal line, there was contact. The 7's battling again, Ballinger and Van Scoy. And the flag resting 1 yard deep in the end zone. Pass interference on the defense. Take a look. The left arm, Dale?
He's got his left arm in there, but, I'm thinking that's a no call in this situation, but I'm not wearing the striped shirt.
Gary Berry, you're closer to the play. Your thoughts?
No love for the DBs. He had his head back towards the ball, and that's incidental contact. You can't call that.
With the left hand?
With the left hand, incidental contact.
Well, thank you, Gary, for your insight down there. Penalties, 4 for 25 on Liberty. That's it. Cypriot guns, and the pass is ensnared.
Great catch.
Oh, what a play by Van Scoy for the touchdown. It's now 21-20. Take a deep breath now for this extra point if you're a Patriot fan.
Boy, Van Scoy went down, took that ball right off the ground. You know, Cypriot probably a little bit tired here, didn't get his legs quickly enough into the throw, and great catch.
Where is Brian White right now? Would he contemplate going for two? Extra point time for Henderly. This is huge to send it to a second overtime. Extra point attempt of 7-Up brought to you by Walmart. And the kick is up. It is good. And our thanks to all our great sponsors all season long. We are tied at 21. Look at this catch by Van Scoy. Talk about a cradle job, and brings it into his chest. Boy, I'll tell you what, a great catch, and only one person could catch that. Van Scoy, there was no way the defender could get there.
And Van Scoy did a great job putting his hands underneath that so that ball didn't come out and hit the ground, hit the grass. Great catch.
We are tied at 21. We will go to a second overtime. The Lions and the Patriots dancing all night on CSN. Back out to the middle of the field, and Gahanna Lincoln will have the option for the second overtime. We don't toss it this time. We just give the option to Gahanna Lincoln.
Go there, first down. All right, man, let's go back.
So Gahanna Lincoln opts to go second to see what Olentangy Liberty does. Dale, does strategy change from overtime number 1 to overtime number 2?
Well, you know, the one thing that I guess you have to consider here right now is you have so many kids playing both ways. I guess, again, you know, you're not worried so much about the fatigue factor, but you want to know what you have to do with the football in your possession in the overtime. So Coach Alonso chose to play defense here and see if he can stop him. But, you know, now you've got Liberty with the momentum here with the big touchdown pass. So it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I want to correct one thing on one graphic we had. It's 41 carries so far for Darius Reeves, not 49, but still that is an incredible evening and a career for some running backs, but he may approach 50 before it's all said and done.
And it could be. We could be here for a while, Randy.
The other thing that's interesting in college football, when you go to a third overtime, you're mandated to go for 2 after the touchdown.
Yes, you are.
That's in college football. We're in high school. We're in overtime number 2, 1st and 10 Liberty, 20 yards away. We've got a flag and a whistle before we start the play. Do you reach a point, if you're a coach, I don't know if it's overtime 2 or 3, or you contemplate going for 2 no matter what? False start on the offense, move it back to the 25.
Yeah, I think it depends on where you feel you are health-wise. If you feel you have a great 2-point play, you know, there's one thing about it though. If you score first and you go for 2, then you really do put the pressure on your opponent if you can convert it.
But if you don't,
you're in trouble.
The extra point could kill you. 1st and 15. Difficult now for the Patriots as they back themselves up from the 25. Cypriot in the flat, pass complete. They'll pick up the penalty and maybe 1 more yard. I think it's Welch on the reception along the far side of the field. It is number 9.
Yeah, that's good discipline, though. Take what the defense gives you. You put yourself in a 2nd and 8 or 9 situation, but it's 4-down territory basically anyway, so you still have 3 shots to get your first down.
We've got an injured Lion on the field along the far side, and I wonder if it's a cramping situation. Dale, if it is.
It looks like it, the way they're working on his foot. You know, that's tough. You just got to get your fluids in, and when you got these kids going both ways on a humid night like this, this may end up being a factor here with the fatigue in the overtime period.
I'm guessing it could be Alex Leginiger looking at the frame of the guy. It could be number 22 down on the field. And that's the problem you start to get into when you get into these overtime sessions. Also with the time in between and you extend the length of this game, it's very difficult on these student athletes. The other thing that happens too, Dale, correct me if I'm wrong, but once you get these cramps, you're more prone to getting them later in the contest, you know, if we extend this 3, 4, 5 overtime.
Oh, definitely. I mean, your body's already telling you that you're a little dehydrated. That's why you're starting to cramp up. And, you know, as we talked about earlier in the broadcast, that you need to drink a lot of fluids here and be ready to hopefully circumvent that heat.
Ryan Cypriot is ready. You can see what he's done so far, passing, and they still work on the legs right now, trying to get that cramp out of the left leg of Alex as he's down right at the 15-yard line. They picked up about 6 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 9 from there, but you mentioned it. Take what the defense will give you, and that's exactly what they've done. So, you know, they talk about in football when you run it, it's 3 yards and a cloud of dust. Well, I always figured out that was 9 yards and put you a yard shy, but you pick up 6 yards on every play here, and you needed 15 on 1st down. You'd have more than enough.
That's why I'm a big fan of those quick passes. You know, you drive the defender off, receiver sits down, quarterback throws it on time. It's that old Bill Walsh adage, throw the ball short to receivers in space and let them make plays. And, you know, who knows, you know, break a tackle on that, somebody be in the end zone here pretty quick.
You can understand what Steve Hale has gone through, taking a program and now 5 years later making them a playoff contender every year. What was it like for you with Ohio Dominican to start a program from square one and bring it to where it is now, 7-3 last season and looking very strong here in 2007?
Well, you know, when you get that opportunity to start a program, and Ohio Dominican was the second one that I started, you go into it with the idea that you're going to be successful, and you go into it with the idea of setting very, very high goals, which I'm sure is what Coach Hale did with the Liberty High School football program. But, you know, to actually see those things come about means that you've got good players, you've got good support among your administration, you've got a good coaching staff, and everybody's willing to work to get to that point. And you know, we've been lucky now. We went into our third year and last year and almost made the national playoffs. And you know, now of course we entered the season as the 13th ranked team, so we've got the big bullseye on our chest. Everybody's going to come out gunning for us. But we got off to a good start last week, and you know, hopefully we'll be able to continue the momentum with Iowa Wesleyan this week.
And you see what Steve Hale has done so far in his tenure. Let's go down to Gary Berry with the latest on the injury. Gary?
He just has cramping up in his calf, you know, towards the end of the game. These things kind of happen, but that goes back to drinking enough water and getting your bananas, the potassium.
Well, Gary, what did you do before a contest, and how early did you start to make sure you were hydrated? A day before, 2 days before?
Yeah, definitely. At least a day before. You got to get up on your electrolytes, you know, Gatorade, high carb foods, and just drink a lot of water for the game, but not too much so you're bloated, and you should be ready.
Did you not bring a banana to the contest tonight?
I brought one tonight. I'm ready. I'm not cramping.
He's a gamer. We'll suit him up and put him in the secondary. I think number 1 is available.
He's available. Give me a jersey.
Gahanna Lincoln is going to take a timeout. After a timeout of about 3.5 minutes, they'll burn another one. So they take a timeout. That is the second one they have burned from the start of the second half on. Olentangy Liberty has yet to use any of the timeouts they had in regulation or what they accrued in overtime. So 21 the count here. We're in double overtime. Randy Reinhardt alongside Dale Carlson. You know, he signed up for duty tonight, but I don't think he thought he'd be seeing overtime and double overtime.
Well, you know what? I'm having a great time here working alongside with you, Randy, and the CSN crew, and this has been a great football game, and I just love watching football.
And fans, we have that other kind of football too. It's the kind with that other kind of ball that's circular where you can do the corner kicks and everything like that. When you try to get that goal, which is worth only 1 and not 6. Don't miss Major League Soccer on CSN. Join us Saturday as the crew will take on the Chicago Fire. The action begins with the On the Pitch show hosted by Dion Miller at 7. Then stay tuned for the game at 7:30. The Columbus Crew on CSN. It is local sports
now.
Little delay in the second overtime, Dale. I noticed that.
You know, the night's getting long here, I guess.
Let's see what happens here. Second down and 9 from the 19 for Olentangy Liberty. Second overtime. They're 2-0 on the season. Gahanna Lincoln, a 1-1 second consecutive overtime contest for Gahanna Lincoln. So they're veterans at this. Seifert, the throw. On the slant. Creedy. Wow, he was going to get hammered. I could see it coming. And he lost the handle at the 10-yard line. 2 defensive backs, and he collided at the roundabout.
Well, it was a great break by the free safety. He read the quarterback's eyes all the way and broke on the slant.
Who brought the tilt-a-whirl? The collision there, and most of that on the part of Aaron Brightfellow, the young man that we saw featured in that little story that Katie Witham did at halftime on compartment syndrome that he has to deal with, Dale. And it's such a difficult situation about that connective tissue in between the muscles and the surgeries he's had to deal with. And yet all he does is come out and contribute as a 3-year starter and play solidly on the baseball team as well, too. And among everything else that he does, he's also an honor student. There's the information on Aaron Brightfellow so far on the campaign.
You know, kids like that are just great inspirations for your whole football team, as was in the piece.
Timeout was taken by Olentangy Liberty. Hey, Buckeye fans, tune in each and every Wednesday at 10 o'clock for Buckeye Football Express. Join Ray Crawford, Dion Miller, and Gary Berry for weekly highlights, analysis, and interviews as CSN takes you inside the 2007 season. Buckeye Football Express, Wednesdays on CSN. You want to do the whole tag? On CSN, it is
local sports now.
Good job. See, as we go into the next overtime, you'll read the last half of one, and then the first half if we go into 4
You're
overtime.
really moving me to the big time, Randy.
I think Darby and Lancaster, did they not go 5 overtimes a couple of seasons ago?
They might have.
Where Lancaster was able to win it on a missed extra point.
And that could come into play here as kids get fatigued.
21 all, second overtime, 3rd down and 9 from the 19. From the pistol. Seifert buying time. Now tucks, ducks. He doesn't drop and roll. He just drops a little bit and moves to his right and finds a seam. He could have been dropped back at the 20, again at the 18, and found an opening inside the 15-yard line.
He is such an elusive runner and definitely a big play type of player. Looks like we're going to go for the field goal.
But it's 4th down now and a long 2 closer to 3. Take a look at this one more time. 1 missed, 2, 3, and the 4th guy got him. So a field goal attempt of some 29 yards. And a whistle and a timeout taken by Olentangy Liberty. Well, they're not trying to ice their own kicker, but do you contemplate perhaps going for the first down here, remembering that Gahanna Lincoln really on their possession made it look easy when they scored their touchdown?
You know, I don't know what the thing was. It almost looked like they were looking at something that Lincoln was trying to do maybe in the field goal rush. They weren't set up properly.
Let's go down to Gary Berry right now. And Gary, what are your thoughts about an overtime and now a second overtime?
I've never been in an overtime game in my high school career, but I was watching a few years ago, back when I was thinking about transferring to DeSales or Watterson. I saw them play each other, and they were like, what, 3 overtimes, Randy? I know you remember that game.
Yep.
And it came down to a kick, which I think it's possibly going to come down to today. And if you saw last week, Gahanna lost in overtime, wide left. So you got to kick the ball right and watch how many times they ice this kicker.
Upper Arlington got that victory 24-21 in overtime. I would have thought GB would have played in one at Ohio State. They had a couple. We'll check with GB about that in a second. 29-yarder, near hash, high snap again. Plenty of leg. The kick is up, and the kick is good. They get the 3, and halfway through the second overtime, Olentangy Liberty up 24-21, and now Gahanna Lincoln will get it back after Todd Henderly converts on that field goal attempt.
Well, it'll be interesting to see if Lincoln goes back to Darius Reese here to carry the load on this their overtime possession.
And if you're Olentangy Liberty, do you sell out and go after Reeves, have a spy on this guy, because in overtime number 1, it was all Darius Reeves.
Well, you have to. He's their playmaker. He's the one that I think Coach Alonzo wants to have the ball in his hands in a situation like this. So you got to be ready to stop Reese. You can't let him beat you.
Williams wide to the top, wide to the bottom. It is Sparks. Reeves got the gain of about 3 on the play. Boy, they came up to hammer him at the line, but he bounced off. It looked like number 42, Damian Capretta, the nose guy, tried to get the hit early on, and we've got a player down at the 20-yard line now up for Gahanna Lincoln. One of the linemen very slow to get up, get back to the huddle. That's number 58, Josh McCaskey, who is slow to find his way back to the huddle, but he's back and ready to go. 5'8", 292. He's a fire plug out there, and boy, he plays hard.
He is, but at 2nd and 6, Reeves still picked up 4 yards on that, even though he got hit.
To the left side, finds a seam. You know what? I think that was designed to go further outside, wasn't it? And he cut it back inside, found the opening.
I think great backs have great vision, and sometimes the defense is going to over-pursue, and he saw the pursuit by the defense, was able to cut it back up inside, and we're close to a first down.
The ball nearly breathing on the 10. It has to inhale and exhale on the 10. So it is 3rd down and inches. If you're Hickey, do you not risk it and just go under center and call your own number?
Well, you might see how Liberty lines up. I think Liberty's still in their 3-man front, so I would imagine quarterback sneak right here.
Try to draw him off, perhaps.
Yeah, they did. They went with the quick snap.
Whoa. And the center moved and nobody else moved, and I think the Patriot fans thought there was maybe a false start on the offense.
You know, that's that goose play between the center and the quarterback, where he just taps his hip. And you know, the key thing on that, though, is the quarterback has to make sure everybody's set before he does that. You know, so many times you get a legal procedure when they try and do that too quick.
You see what happened to the Lions last week. That's why they have one loss on the campaign. But they were so tough in week number 1, getting by Mifflin, scoring 65 points in that contest. First and goal inside the 8. Reeves to the left, cuts it inside, gets to the 5, maybe the 4. If Gahanna Lincoln scores a touchdown, this game is over. So Olentangy Liberty trying to hold on defense and force them to see a 4th down. It's always interesting in football when you go to overtimes and you look at the clock. And it looks so peaceful because there's nothing but zeros.
Nothing's moving.
When it comes to the time. Second and goal inside the 5. Reeves to the right. There's a flag down. Reeves is down at the 4.
Might have procedure again.
A flag back at the 10-yard line.
Well, these are just those drive killers now. Now they put you in a 2nd and long situation instead of being, 3rd and 4, 3rd and 3.
Move it back to just about the 9-yard line. Now, if you're Gahanna Lincoln, now was this prior to the play or is it post-play? If it's post-play, do you opt to consider? Now, Steve Hale is letting you know what the option is. Move them back.
Take them back.
Bottom line.
Well, it should be, if it's a legal procedure, it should have been pre-play. So,
but it wasn't dead ball. There wasn't the hand that preceded. There's the penalty so far. Gahanna now over the century mark. Not a number that Mike Alonso wants to see. Boy, what a class act Mike is, too. Down through the years, I've watched him just mature, and what a class act as a head coach and a great teacher, too, at Gahanna Lincoln High School in so many ways. They need nearly 10. It's 2nd down and goal. Quick slant, and the pass in and out of the hands of Sparks at the goal line. Eggleston on the coverage.
Woo! Throw was just a little bit behind him. Almost had a great play.
Casey Sparks on the slant. They have more chances. It's 3rd down and goal from the 9-yard line. And one more player coming in, and he's got the play from Mike Alonso and company. Let's see what it is. The fans along the near side yelling defense. On the other side, they're cheering for their offense. Double overtime. Patriots up by 3. A turnover, by the way, would end this contest. Hickey rolling, gunning, throwing. Touchdown, it's over. Elliott Williams in the corner. What a throw by Hickey and a catch for the touchdown. And Gahanna Lincoln will win it in double overtime, 27-24.
Yeah, that's a big-time play by Hickey. He's rolling out. He's got pressure. There's a defensive lineman hanging all over him, and he was still able to rifle that ball. Williams made an excellent play to get the touchdown.
And I understand Gahanna Lincoln can also run the football occasionally as well. Wow, what a play. That'll be your play of the game in the postgame. Stick around. 27-24, the Lions in double overtime. This is CSN Local Sports Now.
Great game, great defense.
What a game in week number 3. Gahanna Lincoln is just a 500 team when it comes to overtimes, but overall they're 2-1. As for the 2nd consecutive week, they play overtime, and they're victorious 27-24. And Dale Carlson, our Shawnee State play of the game, was the last play of the game. What a play by Hickey to get away and throw the 9-yard touchdown pass to Elliott Williams.
Well, you see here on the replay, and he's got pressure all over him, and is able to have the sense to get the ball to the corner. And who does he get it to? His big play receiver.
Great job by Hickey just to keep that play alive. Our final stats brought to you by Applebee's. As you check out the final numbers, look at the total yardage. That does not normally lead to a game that's double overtime, 385 to 192, but hats off to the Patriots. They took it up a notch in the second half.
Yes, they did, and they were able to tie the football game up and put it into overtime.
Stewart, a couple of field goals. Eggleston with a touchdown run. Seifert was outstanding. Reeves with a couple of scores. Williams with a big catch from Hickey. So many heroes in this contest. Bottom line, it was a great way to spend week number 3 of the high school football season. Dale, you did a great job tonight. I loved having you aboard. Let's do this again real soon.
I hope so, Randy. It was great working with a pro like you.
Again, our final in double overtime, Gahanna Lincoln 27, Olentangy Liberty 24. For Gary Berry, for Dale Carlson, for Steve Bassford, our statistician, and our entire CSN team, I'm Randy Reinhart. What a night of high school football in week number 3. Catch Eastmore and Grandview as well, too, here in week number 3 with Eric Thacker, Matt D'Orazio, and Chris Miles. For the entire staff, I'm Randy Reinhardt. Both teams are 2-1. It was a classic. Get out the time capsule, put it inside. Gahanna Lincoln rules in week 3. This is CSN Local Sports Now.
This has been a presentation of CSN, the Columbus Sports Network.
High school football to this community, well, when you had Davidson